Okay.
Have no idea what they're doing.
Hi everyone, welcome to our first edition of Beyond Supernatural. I am one of your hosts. My name is Michele Villery, and we have a jam-packed episode. We have a jam-packed edition of Beyond Supernatural, which is our first, and a lot to go over, a lot of supernatural news. And here with me today is hello, Mandy Gordon.
What up? You can actually see me today.
And we have Toni Colangelo.
Hello, everyone.
And we have the fabulous Tory Rush.
Hi, guys.
Like I said, we're just going to go right into the news with Supernatural because we have two huge episodes to cover, and there's a lot to cover with those two episodes. Book of the Damned, and we also have the Werther Project. And we also have a lot of news with the awesome campaign that Jared and Jensen are running right now for Represent, which also part of the proceeds are going to go to Misha Collins' Random Acts, which is awesome. And so far, we have 5 more days on the campaign, and so far the guys have sold 31,436 shirts and you can buy not only just T-shirts with Moose and Squirrel on them. You can get also there's totes, and there are also phone cases also as well. And the proceeds go to the Always Keep Fighting campaign, and they want to make sure that the fight goes on for many generations to come, which is fabulous. I had a person in my life, and I rarely tell this story, but I've shared it with the girls, a childhood friend that I lost to suicide. So when I first saw Jared do that, it meant a lot to me. It's something that I rarely talk about, and I just hate for anyone to feel alone. And then a former coworker of mine I found out recently ended his life as well. So it means a lot that they're doing this. And will you guys be getting a shirt? I bought a shirt.
I got a shirt.
I bought 2.
I know that one shirt looks nice.
I'll order one for a good cause.
The first shirt I got was the Sincerely shirt, which, if I remember correctly, was the Fuck Cancer shirt. One of the fuck.
Yeah, that was a Mel shirt, the F Cancer.
And I got that one because I lost my grandfather to prostate cancer. I had to watch that man die for 10 months of my life. It was not a good time. I was also having incredible problems in school with bullying and stuff. And then I went and got Jared's shirt because I actually have contemplated it. Toni knows this, and I still have several people that have told me that I should.
It's horrible. No one should feel like that. No one should feel so desperate that that you should want to do that or even contemplate that. I was literally talking to my friend Lee hours before he committed suicide.
And the thing is, a lot of people won't notice it because either we're not telling people that, or when we do, they dismiss it.
It's sad. And there's not
I see a lot of dismissing with that. It's hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
It's hurtful. And there's no need to be hurtful. I don't get that. I see it sometimes in the fandom. I see it in other places, especially social media, where some people decide to hide behind whatever device that they're on and feel that it's cool to make fun and be hurtful towards others. I don't know what you gain by doing that.
Gift. The greater internet fuckwad theory.
Mm-hmm. People
think that you have total anonymity and no one knows who you are, you pretty much turn into an asshole.
Okay, but you know what? Things can be tracked down and things can be, found out. So You know what, people? If you are one of those asswipes that do that stuff, people can track you down. You can be prosecuted for that. People in the past have been prosecuted for cyberbullying. You can go to jail for that.
Actually, yeah. Recently, I had a slew of people slandering me for no reason, and I just kind of brushed it off. It didn't really bother me. But then I found out that you can have somebody arrested for slander. It's called internet slander, and it's real. Like, you can actually get persecuted for it, and you can do up to a year in prison for it.
Yeah.
And to those people that sit there saying, "Oh, it's online, no one's going to care, they're not going to find you," yes, you can be found very easily to people that want to hurt you.
Sure.
People were saying that, I showed you guys last night the threat I got on the IMDb, and people were telling me that it's not going to happen. There's like a 1 in a billion chance that he'll even find me. Within 5 minutes, I googled my little screen name and found me within 30 seconds.
It's ridiculous. It's
bad that I shouldn't worry, and I'm like, yeah, you need to worry. And the people that think that they can go around and do this shit, nope, they can't, because there are laws against it now. Florida has a law against cyberbullying, and it's up to 5 years in jail, not to mention a fine. And just because you change your tune doesn't mean that everything that you said beforehand hasn't been kept. I mean, hell, just now it's like they say Facebook has all your little posts that you've never posted. Right. So somewhere in the internet, everything you've done is being recorded.
Yeah, everything that you do can be tracked down via an IP address. So that's why I'm like, you know what, people, you can be tracked down. I mean, even with, like, the Stars of Supernatural, I see, people send hateful crap to Misha and Jen and Jared's wife and Danielle. There's no need for that. That's just ridiculous. What are you going to gain by that, people? But regardless of that, I just wanted to talk about the Always Keep Fighting campaign, and I just wanted to say kudos to both Jared and Jensen, on being a part of that. And we're proud to talk about the Always Keep Fighting campaign here for as long as they decide to do it, and the other stuff that they're doing in the future for long range, and what they I guess they're going to be funding this with a website also for generations to come. So we'll be continuing to talk about it. And also, speaking of Always Keep Fighting, people are doing some really cool matchings with, and I'll probably post those on the Indy Geek blog in the next couple days, which is why I haven't posted in a bit, because I wanted to give those sites attention. There are some really cool people in a lot of Facebook groups. And Lauren Tom, who we all know as Mrs. Tran, has been retweeting. Our friends at Winchester Brothers have, and also SuperWiki has been retweeting a lot too. And we'll be doing the same. But there are a lot of great groups that are matching. If you decide that you want to gift somebody a shirt who can't afford it, there are groups that will match and purchase a shirt for you. So we wanted to say kudos. And we'll be sharing, and we'll be talking about those people as well. So
I want to say, I'm not going to mention the person's name. I already mailed it out to her. I had bought 3 of the Keep Fighting shirts. I wanted the T-shirt, but they accidentally sent me 2 of the baseball shirts and with the white arms.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew they wouldn't have one to exchange. So there's someone that, had gone through a rough time. I don't know all the details, but I know she is, let's just say she is working with the group that Jared is working with, TW.
To love, right.
Right love on her arms, exactly.
Right love on her arms.
Yes. and I sent her the shirt.
Awesome.
Oh, that was nice of you.
I never opened it. Thanks.
Awesome.
I sent it to her.
Awesome. That's really cool. And also, speaking of this, speaking of Supernatural, we need to give a shout out because Gish Wishes, I'm just going to pull it up here, I do believe is about ready to start. Are they still registering?
Registering till the end of July.
End of July. That's what I thought.
August 1st is the start.
So I'm going to actually tell people you can go on to Gish Wishes.
Isn't it Gishways?
Yes, gishwishes.com. And you can be part, literally, of the biggest scavenger, the greatest scavenger, international scavenger hunt the world has ever seen. And yeah, you have 12 weeks to register.
I did it in 2012.
Did you?
I helped a friend of a friend out. Oh, this is a good story. My friend who is part of the 501st is like, hey, can you take a picture of me in my armor folding laundry? And I looked at him and he's like, it's for a friend. It's like for a friend for some kind of internet scavenger hunt. And I'm like, oh, Gishways? He's like, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, Misha.
I'm debating whether or not to do it or not. But if I don't do it,
I mean, we could actually start a group. We could actually start a group ad with more people and have the 4 of us do it this year. But
you know what? We totally should do that.
I mean, the thing is, I'm busy, but I mean, hey, if you want to do
that's just it. I'm busy. That's why, and I don't want to, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I'll do it next year, but it makes sure
I think we should think about for next year because I just got so much on my plate this year.
I do too. So
I'll have to announce this. I'm sorry. I told somebody I wasn't going to do it. Well, I got talked into doing it, so I'm doing it again this year.
Yeah, you're doing Gish Wishes.
With things that are going on with me right now. When I did it in 2012, it's amazing how much my artistic, creative side had come back through, and I want that again. So that can help me, with things in my life right now. So
that's fantastic. And Gish Wishes is so much fun, and it does and some of the stuff that that they've done in the past. I mean, Misha through Gish Wishes, through Random Acts, has built schools and literal buildings for people in Haiti. I mean, so that's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And the Supernatural family is probably all around one of the coolest fandoms ever. To take part and to do so many charitable things, and Jared and Jensen and Misha and Mark do quite a bit with charities. And actually now we can also add Travis to that, Aaron Wade to that too, because he does quite a bit with the military and stuff too. Because I saw a few things that he's been doing, and we'll showcase him next week actually, because he's doing some really cool stuff. But before we go any further, we're gonna probably just go. Okay. Hey, alrighty. You want to do that? Do we want to tell people what we want to do?
You can do that.
What do we want to do?
We're gonna give away a shirt.
Oh, that, yeah.
We decided just now we are going to be giving away one of the Moose and Squirrel shirts. You need to answer a trivia question with that. And I do actually have a trivia question. And however you guys find this is up to you.
No Googling. No
Googling. They'll use Super Wiki. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
I bet money they'll go to Super Wiki. You can try as might. They will go to Super Wiki, Supernatural Wiki. Here's now. Do we have the question? Oh, okay. Oh, very nice, Mandy. Okay. Well, then you know what? We'll use that one, and we'll use my second one for the next giveaway that we're doing, because we're doing 2 today.
Okay.
You know what? Maybe I'll throw in a shirt.
There you go.
Tori, maybe I'll throw in a shirt. Maybe we'll give away.
High five. Through the screen.
Through the screen.
3-5
You know what?
smack.
I'm gonna give away a shirt. So Mandy's question to the Supernatural family, and you must use the hashtag Beyond Supernatural to get a Moose and Squirrel shirt. The winner will be given that. Is who in the movie? Let's see. Which Highlander actor showed up in season 1 of Supernatural? Oh, I know this. Did everybody get that? So who is the Highlander actor who showed up in season 1 of Supernatural? Make sure that you use the hashtag, as with anything with regards to this show, Beyond Supernatural, to answer that. And the winner will gift out a Moose and Squirrel shirt. Good luck, people. Mandy, that was epic.
Thank you.
That was a good one. I don't know the answer. So I can't even...
I have a feeling I do. I think I do. I could be. I think I'm wrong, though. I may be wrong. I have a feeling that I know that. Okay. We're going to go into the episode because now I'm going to be pandering that, and I'll be trying to find it out in freaking Super Week. Okay. But we're going to go on to the first episode because we have 2 episodes to cover, and this is going to get heated. We're going to talk about the book. We're going to be talking about the Book of the Damned, which was written by Robbie Thompson. And it started off with... Now, I literally thought that this was an overflow of air for a hot minute, the way that this opened. And we see Charlie... Literally, I thought it was literally Stephen Amell until she took off her hood. And she's literally being...
Hang on.
Okay.
We're echoing. Who's echoing?
Do I sound like I'm echoing?
I think it might be... It seems that Toni is the one that's echoing. On Toni's, like, with a second delay.
Huh.
It's Skynet.
We're like, what?
Actually, Mandy's voice was coming in and out, so it was hard to hear.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not you.
Anyways, maybe I should get my headset. Let me get my headset.
Okay.
You start, I'll get my headset.
Okay. We're going to start with Book of the Damned. Pretty much, it starts off with Charlie, played by Felicia Day, who's returning. And she is being tracked down by 2 men. Now, I want to Toni, I want to know your thoughts about it, because literally, this was a side of Charlie that we've never seen before. Well, actually, we have seen it before, but not at this level. And she is literally, she has the Book of the Damned with her, and she is literally kicking these guys' ass. Now, I don't know if she learned this from Oz, or did she learn this from Sam and Dean? Because Girlfriend had mad skills.
Charlie Sue.
She was kicking butt. I'll tell you that. She did really well. I want to say she probably learned a little bit from the boys and Dorothy
Mm-hmm.
when she
Right.
was in Oz. I
That's
mean,
what
you
I'm
saw
wondering.
what her id self did. I mean, she was whooping butt on that episode as well.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, when she came back from Oz and she really did had the fight with evil Charlie, and she was kicking Dean's ass.
She did.
I'm back.
Okay. But Andy, we were talking about
Charlie Sue.
population a little bit.
I can still hear echoing. I think it might be Tony. Turn the light up. The sound up.
Actually, I turned the sound up. Well, actually, it's already up all the way. But I can hear echoing on Michelle's end too.
Yeah.
This is gonna annoy me.
Let me log out.
Okay.
Technology, you gotta love it. Testing 1, 2, 3.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I think it was Tony's because I actually hear I could see the little things going up and down on when Tony.
Yeah, mine was fine. I just double checked. We'll just wait for her a little bit. But Mandy, what were your thoughts about Charlie while we're waiting for Tony to log back in?
My issue with Charlie. Whoa, sorry, doing 10 things at once. I really see her as a author self-insert, which is very badly written, and she is the dreaded fanfic Mary Sue. She does everything perfectly. I mean, literally, she became an expert hunter by reading Chuck's books without putting any of the time in. And yeah, yes, Dorothy could totally have taught her a few things, so could have the boys, but there's just no way she would be at that level. And the way that the boys and everybody else tend to kind of go, oh, Charlie, you're fantastic. Charlie, you're great. The minute she shows up, it just smacks of bad writing for me, and I really kind of want her to be written by somebody other than Robbie Thompson.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I want to know what the time lapse is for you know what I mean, in terms of when he we know how long was she in Oz. Technically, she was in Oz for about a year. But how long was it in Oz time for her to learn all that? Plus, again, like you said too, we don't know what Sam and Dean taught her, and I would bet the farm Dean taught her a thing or two.
Yeah, but the thing is, no matter how much Dean teaches her, she still wouldn't be at the level she is without practical application. And the fact is, she's like, oh yeah, Dark Charlie finished the whole war by herself. It just smacks of the perfect Mary Sue, and I'm like, oh, when did Charlie become Superman?
Right. I see what your point is. I just want to know where was that how quick was that learning curve? You know what I mean? The learning.
Well, I mean, it took Sam and Dean how long to be anywhere near as good as they are, and they still, especially nowadays, they still get knocked out and whatever,
every week.
whenever the freaking they're like, oh, we need to knock this guy out. I'm like, how many times has Sam been knocked out this past 2 years? I mean, hell, when Sam was being possessed by Gadriel, he was knocked out every single episode.
Well, then again, too, he was technically. I see why they did it, because he was technically injured, even though he was possessed by Gadriel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I like Felicia Day.
Oh yeah.
I think she could be a little stronger as an actress, but she definitely tries. But literally, Robbie has pretty much gone in and said, Charlie is me in the episode. And I'm just sitting there going, that it's just like the fact that he's even right out said, Charlie is me, just shows me, in my opinion, that Robbie's kind of full of himself. And he wants everybody to worship him. And that's just how I see it. I mean, yeah, everybody puts a little bit of themselves in their characters and everything. I mean, that's just one of the ways you write. But there's just a time when you go way too far. And, we've been seeing a lot of it and people worshiping it with what I feel are very crappy books, like, the Twilight series and the 50 Shades of Grey, and the last place I want to see it is Supernatural. I really don't like it when I see, Sam and Dean and everybody kind of become Charlie's fanboys for no other reason than that they're Charlie fanboys because the writer wants Charlie to be loved.
I don't think that's for Sam and Dean that they feel that way towards.
They opened up to Charlie a lot faster and a lot quicker than they ever did to Jo, and Jo was pretty much the little sister.
Jo was literally the little. I miss her actually.
What
I did, and I like Charlie for one of. Well, I like her, and I love Jo, and I loved Ellen.
Ellen and Jo were real. It's for me real characters. They live, they breathe. They had their ups and downs. They definitely, they had their ups and downs, and they definitely were real, breathing characters. And Charlie's just way too perfect for me. She just everything is, I dropped out of school at 14, and now I'm like this world famous hacker. The Leviathans can't copy me, but they can copy Sam, who's got demon blood in him, and Dean, who's been through hell and back. There's just way too much of it that just takes me out whenever she shows up, and they just keep piling. Oh, Charlie is so special. Oh, Charlie is so perfect, and it drives me nuts.
Toni, what are your thoughts on that, on how they write her? I mean, I'll say this for me. I'm a Robbie Thompson fan. I like the way he writes. There's certain things that I like that he writes. But however, Mandy makes some really good points, right now in terms of, the evolution of Charlie. I think there's been an evolution with her.
A very small one, because the thing is, we keep seeing her as being perfect every time she's on, and anything we get from her that might be development is really stuff that's off screen, which has also been a very big problem with the show, which is the show likes to tell and not show, which, I mean, I could go on for hours and hours about where they tell the audience this, that, and the other thing, but they show the exact opposite, and I don't want to. Not yet.
It's okay.
I don't want people yelling at you to get me kicked off because I'm way too pessimistic and way too critical.
Nah, it's okay. Toni, what are your thoughts about Charlie?
Well, first off, I want to say, kudos to Mandy. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but Mandy see things in one way, and the rest of us see things in our own way.
Mm-hmm.
But Charlie, I'm sorry to say, I like Charlie because
me too.
I like girl too.
There's no problem with liking her.
What's that?
I don't have any problem with anyone liking her. I have a problem when people tell me I'm evil for not liking her.
Oh, and you're not evil. It's an opinion.
You're not evil. No, that's why I'm saying kudos.
You heard me. I'm a Robbie Thompson fangirl, and I'm a Andrew Dobb fangirl. I dig the way that they write, to be honest.
I personally would like to get my hands on the scripts and see what the text itself says without inflections and mood.
Well, you know what? Did you see Jared's live tweet? I wouldn't mind seeing one of those too, because I was like, oh, I wish I could see the whole thing, because that night he was live tweeting,
mm-hmm.
and he showed a page of that script, and it literally read word for word with what they were saying, and there was no ad lib. He showed a page off of it. And
but the thing is this. But the thing is, when you watch it, it might be word for word, but if you read it, it still might come across differently because you don't have the acting, you don't have the editing, you don't have the inflections, you don't have the music, you don't have anything that tells you how you feel. You're literally looking at the words as they are.
Right.
I did a script analysis class, and all the movies that he had us read were, really famous movies: Casablanca, Butch and Sundance. What was that one with the girls that drive off the cliff? Thelma and Louise. Yeah. Me being the idiot that I am, I've never seen any of these movies, so I literally were reading every single script raw without any knowledge of how they were
really?
acted. Yeah, so I got a totally different feel from these movies just by reading the script. And I've done that too with all the other scripts I read. I mean, my first script was Terminator 2, and that was after I saw the movie, and it's just a totally different experience. So I, as being a writer and a script writer in my own right, would just love to get my hands on more supernatural scripts. And I actually might bug Jared about that, saying that should be a nice prize, or, you know, I would just be like, dude, I want scripts.
You did give one away.
I know, but the most of the people want it for is the freaking autographs. I mean, I had a chance to get the screenplay of Labyrinth, and this thing was covered in autographs. Frank Oz, George Lucas, Jim Henson, and I missed out on it because I wanted to read it, and I mean, all of those names, but I really wanted to read it. I do have a copy of the script now without any of the names on it, so I can read it, but it's just, you know, I see a script and I just want to read it. I don't care.
Oh, me too. I'm like that too, because I'm an author, and I write them. I too. So and then for me, I would love to pick, like, literally, if I would love to sit down and probably sit with Felicia, because she's the writer, and Robbie and Andrew and Bob Behrens, who wrote a really good episode that we watched this past Wednesday.
I would actually like to sit down with Edlund about some of his
scripts. He's cool too.
Some of the awesome scripts. And heck, I would actually. I know a lot of people got on their high horse and freaking out because Misha directed an episode before Jared did.
So what?
Jared doesn't want to direct.
Jared doesn't want to. It's not that he doesn't want to direct. He doesn't want to direct Supernatural.
Well, and the thing is,
there's a lot of moving parts to that, and it's complicated. And I totally, in terms of what he's referring to, I completely understand where he's coming from with that.
Oh, yeah, and I have no problem. If Jared doesn't want to direct, then Jared doesn't have to direct. I do think that he actually would, if he's doing a lot of writing, and he's so smart, I really would love to see him write an episode.
I would love to, and you know what? If I had a chance to talk to him, because I hope that I will one of these days. I would urge him to write an episode. I know people have talked to him about it. I don't know why he won't. Maybe because of time with his family and things like that. And
time with his family. Also, I think some people in the writing room would get really pissed off.
Why?
Egos. A few of the people in the writing room have egos, in my opinion.
Well, I think they would be open to him doing it. I mean, they're open to Jensen and Misha directing. Well, the directors,
directing is different than writing, because the thing is, the writing still is on the page, and the directors still have to take what's on the page and put it on there.
Who doesn't know Sam or Dean better than Jared?
Well, according to Adam Glass, he actually he will go to the fans of Dean before he'll go to Jensen.
I don't know, because I don't follow Adam Glass, and I know he's one of the writers, but I don't follow Adam Glass to know whether or not.
No, he actually did. When he was writing About a Boy, he actually went to fans first before Jensen.
But was there a reason, okay, to play devil's advocate, because I don't know Adam, was there a reason, and sometimes I've gone to the public or my readers and I've asked them a plot question, was there a reason, though, maybe he was talking to the other writers in LA, was there a reason why he did that before kind of judging him on it?
No, because he doesn't. We've actually shown a lot of us who have followed him actually see that he tends to treat Jensen with a lot of disrespect, and he's done backhanded insults to Jensen while complimenting Jared and a few others, and he's actually gotten on people's. He's actually started swearing people out for criticizing his writing, and he's like tried to flounce from Twitter a few times because people have criticized him or called him out on some of his BS. He's even gotten into it with creation, because insulting the actors too, because he's like, oh, why would creation want this actor that showed up on one show and not me? I'm more important than this actor. I mean,
is he joking though? Because you know how they are.
No, is he serious? No, he's serious. He's done it several times trying to get into conventions, and he's very rude about it. He's very rude. And if he's anything like the guy that was on the IMDb that claims that he's Adam's cousin, who immediately started insulting me for not liking Adam and saying, oh, he's a really nice guy, but I don't read him on Twitter, and when given quotes of him being very rude and other stuff on Twitter, pretty much started swearing me out, which is how Adam pretty much acts. Um,
I don't follow Adam to know, or I don't have, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, this is stuff I've seen, and there's other stuff that Adam's done that I think is very rude, and I just don't respect him because I don't think he respects anybody else. That's just me, though.
Oh, yeah, that's your opinion. I mean,
And if Adam doesn't like him, he can bitch me out himself.
So, we are going to get back to Book of the Damned, and basically, Charlie in the melee, she gets shot because she's being followed by, and I do like this introduction of the new characters, the Steins.
The Steins?
Yeah, I really do.
The discount Nazi necromancers?
Yeah. I do like them. I'm a huge Jeff Branson fan, so it was really cool to see Jeff Branson back on a TV screen.
Oh, yeah. Young and the Restless.
Yes, Young and the Restless, and I know him from AMC, and kudos to Jeff. When I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, Jeff Branson, rock on! Emmy award-winning Jeff Branson, and I know they want to bring him back. So if you die in Supernatural, guaranteed they will bring your ass back.
Yeah, and I've seen several. I've seen like the blurbs of the upcoming episodes, and the Stein family keeps coming back.
The Stein family is definitely going to be an appearance, and we're going to get into that. They're definitely back later on the season. But they shoot Charlie, and Charlie calls Sam and Dean to let them know that she's back from Spain. Is it Spain or Italy? I gotta remember.
No clue.
Yeah, but she was out of the country because she had to steal the book out of the country. So she calls them to let her know that she's home and she has the book, but she's been shot and she's being tracked. And she needs help. And we see, shallow moment here. We see Dean in a hoodie.
Oh God, I love when Jensen's in hoodies. We haven't seen him in a hoodie since first season.
I know. It's like we see Jensen in a hoodie in the bunker, and we see Sam, of course, and we find out that they have that Bobby had cabins all over. And they tell Charlie that they'll meet her at one of them, the closest one, as soon as they can get to her, and to stay put. And then what else happens here? We have the boys go back on the road, and we have the introduction of one of the best songs that they could have played. Oh, and before we go into that. Here's the first best interaction of the show. Cass and Metatron. Yes.
We see Metatron as a character, but I mean, oh come on, the guy's
Curtis Armstrong's the business. I love Curtis Armstrong.
Curtis is awesome. I was watching House recently, and I saw him in House, and I just totally squeed.
But we see Metatron, who Cass, as I call him in this episode, Badass Cass,
which we haven't seen in a while. Chill.
And he has Cass has stolen Metatron's grace, and Metatron has been shot in the leg by Sam. He is now human. And he is just yakking and being more irritating than normal, to the point where Cass, in desperation, he calls Sam and goes, "Can I kill him?"
I can hear you.
That was the best line of the episode. Because I felt for Cass. I'm like, he's getting on my nerves in this car. And for anybody to get on Cass's nerves, that's a bad thing.
And of course, good Metatron's like, I can hear you, right?
I know. But he's like, I can hear you. Can I kill you? That was literally the best. That was the second best line of the show.
I love the punches that Misha threw, and who does it remind you of? Dean.
Dean. Oh yeah.
That punch.
We got to bring that up because there's a scene, and I'm going to mention the library scene because that's very important. because you mentioned the punches. We'll get to that later, but that was great. Sam's like, no, you cannot kill Metatron. He has your grace. You can do that after you get your grace back. I don't care what happens to him. And Metatron, Mandy said, I can hear you. That was great stuff, and it was great. That's Metatron and Curtis and Misha have just got a great chemistry. That was great stuff.
See, if I had written that line, my response would have been Cass going, "Yeah, I know."
But we see the boys also back on the road. They're headed to see Charlie, and I love the song. How fitting! The boys are back in town. Mm-hmm. And being that what Charlie also said in the phone call kind of gave them hope that she has the Book of the Damned, and maybe there is hopefully a cure for Dean in that. And we see Dean jovial about this, and he wants to go, and he talks about going on vacation to a beach. I wouldn't mind seeing a supernatural episode with them on a beach. But I want to hear everybody's thoughts on that interaction, because Sam is cautiously optimistic. And I kind of understand I looked back at the episode today, and I was like, you know what? I kind of first didn't see it, but I kind of understand why Sam was a little, cautious, because is he faking being jovial? Is it the mark? Is all this the mark that's doing this? Is it even affecting Sam? And I talked to Toni about this too. We're going to get down to this later with certain elements because of some of the stuff that's happened with Sam in the past. But what did you all think about that scene, about Dean being so jovial about this? And it was...
Well, it reminded me of, he's brought this up before in other episodes, including the one, I can't remember the episode name, I'm sorry, but I know it was around the time that Dean was supposed to go to hell. And he would always say, why can't we get jobs like in Miami or Fort Lauderdale or something like that? So
right.
I know...
They don't go on location?
What's that?
Because they don't go on location.
Well, that, we know that, but...
I'm sorry, I had to.
I know, we know that, but...
I'm just trying to...
I know!
Anyways, so yeah, it just reminded me, when I saw that, him talking about the beach, I said, oh, this reminds me of the past episode. So it seems like this is something deep down inside Dean that's what he's been wanting to do for a very long time.
Right.
It would be interesting if they did write something like that and had them on the beach. I know location-wise that'd probably be impossible, but it would be interesting.
It would be interesting, yeah. It would be kind of hard with their budget and where they shoot and stuff, but I wouldn't mind seeing them.
Well, here's the thing. If we got them to Florida and around St. Augustine for a beach, I know somebody that has a awesome replica of the Impala that they could use, and trust me, they would gladly do it.
Hey.
And I will gladly be the PA. I will work my ass off for that production.
Producers of Supernatural, you have an upcoming season 11 to plan. Early stages. I know that you're probably still recuperating because you just wrapped up your season.
They won't start. They're planning a few things, but from what I've been getting, they really are doing everything by the seat of their pants. This 3-year, that whole 3-year arc that Carver said he had was him lying. Actually, he already said that, yeah, we've been going by the seat of our pants, really. But seriously, if they got down to this area, Florida, I know several people that would gladly help them out with shooting the show. Sure. And trust me, I've seen this Impala replica. It is as show accurate as you can get. It even has a false trunk.
That's awesome. Yeah. The false trunk and everything.
So I have to give a shout out to the peeps with Lilith in Black. That's their car.
Cool.
And watch them kill me now later. Sorry, guys. I just totally advertised you.
Why not?
Yeah.
We now go to the guys get to the cabin, and we see Charlie, and she's kind of a little bit passed out or what have you, and she has announced that she has. Where did she learn this? Again, another thing. I love Charlie. I don't, I like the
tell, not show.
But
or don't even tell or show.
She sewed up her wound with floss.
They did that in Changing Channels.
Right. So she could have learned that from one of the Carver books. Okay, never mind.
One of the what?
The Carver books.
I don't.
Carter books. What am I saying?
Wait, yes, they did.
Because I'm thinking of Jeremy Carver.
Well, it's Carver Edlund for
yeah, right. That's something Carver Edlund. I'm just getting all my.
But yeah, she could have learned.
I'm not good at names, as you can tell. The second night in a row. But she could have got that from one of the Supernatural books.
She could have, or the boys could have.
The boys could have told her, because in one of those episodes, didn't one of the boys do that, or Sam?
Yeah, Sam did it on Dean in the Dr. Sexy show episode part of Changing Channels.
Right. I was going to say he did that. I knew it was, I think, Sam or Dean that did that. But she discusses the book, and after, they reunited a little bit, she discusses the book, and this is something that I want to really go over, because I noticed something, and I don't know if anyone else noticed it too. She explains that the book was written by a witch, and her blood and her skin. The pages are made from her skin. The book is written in her blood, and it has dark magic, pretty much every spell that you can possibly name, and every origin of every evil that you can imagine.
Ladies and gentlemen, the supernatural version of the Necronomicon. Come on, let's call it what it is.
But I want to go back, because I want to go back even one episode further from that, because when Charlie opened up the book, I recognized a lot of the symbols, and I don't know if anybody else caught it. And we'll talk about this more in the Werther Project, the next episode. A lot of the spells, a lot of the graphics were some of the same graphics that Rowena had on her body in the episode before that. So that I noticed that. I don't know if anybody else caught that. Go back and look at the other episode prior to that. I forgot what it's called. Actually, I can probably go back and check. But go back to the episode prior, where we see her, where we see Rowena attempting to kill Dean, and she has those little, graphics on her body, the little spells. People, look at those very carefully. A lot of those are the same graphics that are in the Book of the Damned.
For all we know, the woman that Rowena was the woman that made the book or something. And
right? That's what my main point is. And we're gonna get to that for predictions. That's why I'm bringing it up, because I have a feeling Rowena either was a part of writing that book, wrote it herself, or possibly planted it there because she wants to destroy the Winchesters, to get her away from crowd.
Because you know how well that's worked out for everybody.
I know. But I'm just saying.
Winchesters. Yeah, you're stupid.
Huh? No. But she doesn't. Go back to that. But I didn't know if anybody else caught that.
Inside Man.
Yeah. That was it. And so I don't know if it was a coven member. She was a coven member. And for all we know, she's been around for 300 years. It could have been Rowena who wrote it herself. So, and the book, we know, is doing something to Dean as they look at it. He's kind of all mesmerized, and it's calling to him.
He's going on.
Sam noticed it. Sam, I call it like The Ring.
Yeah, exactly. He's going Gollum.
He's gone the precious. And Sam gets it away from him. But I'm going to tell you guys something, and I mentioned this to Toni too. I think the book did something to Sam too, and we'll go over that later.
I agree.
I'm convinced that it did too. But anyway, after that, Sam notices that he gets the book away from him, and not before there's an argument between Sam and Dean, and it actually is in reverse from last season, where Sam didn't want Dean to save him. Vice versa, Dean does not want Sam to save him. He was reminding him of his words, Sam's words, to bite Sam in the ass, literally. And Charlie's like, what? So I wanted to know everyone's thoughts on that. Did Sam deserve that?
Yes.
I knew you were going to say yes, because we talked about this. I know that you're going to say yes. Toni, what do you think?
I'm sorry. I heard part of that question. I couldn't quite hear it.
That's okay. I didn't know what your thoughts were about pretty much the argument that Sam and Dean had, where pretty much Dean reminded Sam of what his words were last year, in terms of him trying to save him. He didn't like him saving him, and vice versa. Dean does not want him to save. He doesn't want Sam to save him, and pretty much he said what Sam did in reverse, and he literally bit Sam in the ass. And I want you to know here, I call it biting him in the ass. So, in terms of that, what did you think of that?
It was intense, and I think that they do this like every season.
They do.
They always, and it's like what Bobby said. That's a non-agreement. And
it is a non-agreement.
Yeah.
Put it on season 8. Like Sam.
I don't know if it's a thing where one is trying to outdo the other, because there are sibling rivalries. They're brothers, but at the same time, I think after what they've gone through, they don't really know what they want to do, because they just want to keep saving each other. So it's really, I think it's just a lot of confusion for them, and it's getting to them personally.
Yeah, I never even, that brings up a good point. I don't know, Tori, you're kind of new to the supernatural universe, and I don't know, as an outsider looking in on this for you, until we start to do the rewinds, what is your thought on that? When you first saw that as an outsider, what were your thoughts on that?
The argument seemed to be an old argument.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they fought about this before in the past.
Last season, Sam had 2 different speeches where he pretty much disowned Dean and said, we're either brothers or partners. We can't still keep saving each other. If you were in the same situation, I wouldn't save you. He pretty much had his asshole hat on and ripped Dean's heart out and kind of showed it to him and walked off and never really apologized for it. And Dean pretty much just brought that back up.
Nice.
Oh. That's like opening.
Long story short, that's what happened.
And she's right, though. But Tori, as an outsider looking in, she had a good point, and that's exactly what she said. She said it's an old argument. It literally was. It's an old argument, and it has been going back and forth for almost 2 years now. The same thing.
So you can feel that residualness, even though I have no idea what's going on. I could feel that.
Oh, don't worry, young Padawan. We will teach you in the ways of...
yes, young Jedi. We will show you the ways of the Winchester family. It's a long and complicated web, but a fun web.
10 years and counting. Come on, we will slam 10 years of stuff into you.
That's like taking the bar exam if you're a lawyer.
I know.
What?
I said I know.
No, I didn't hear what she said.
She talked about being a lawyer. I said, well,
Yeah, Sam was at the beginning of the series. Sam was in Stanford. To be a lawyer.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do him proud then.
Huh?
I said I'll do them proud then. I'll learn all this
Trust
stuff.
me, you'll do better than Sam ever was, because he actually had a chance to be a lawyer and kind of sucked at it.
Well,
oh come on, when he was
No,
defending
I thought he
Dean,
was fantastic in that one episode.
he was. I agree. I'm like, I don't think he would have been a bad lawyer.
I don't know. He still pretty much
we won't ever
lost
see that though.
in trying to defend Dean's life. He didn't really do that good of a job. With whatever the Egyptian god of judgment is, Anubis.
I didn't think he was that bad. I thought he was pretty credible.
And that last part where he was trying to, I don't know the word for it, but I mean, he really came back at that god.
Yeah, he rebutted. I think the rebuttal.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
go on, Sam. This is why I thank you so much. You're like so manipulative and so deceptive. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna revisit that badassery again.
Ninja Sam.
We just are, period. But to get back into the episode, we now see Cass and Metatron. This was great too. Another scene with those two. Cass and Metatron at a restaurant. It is hysterical to see Metatron as a human being and have him discover all this stuff, because Curtis Armstrong does such a great job at these little things that he does. And
that was the name of the car.
The whole restaurant scene where they're eating either pancakes or waffles or whatever, and he tasted it. And I was like, I was getting hungry looking at that. I'm like, wow, this looks so good.
Too. Remember we talked about that? I'm getting hungry.
And I'm like, yeah, Toni and I were like, I'm getting hungry. Stop it, Metatron. Just going on and on. It's like, I don't know if these are waffles, pancakes, or both. They look like they were both. And then he got lactose intolerant.
Oh God.
It's great.
All I gotta say is, TV shows and movies like that, you gotta eat. You gotta eat when you're watching, because, oh God, otherwise Ratatouille is torture.
That was so funny. And Misha's face, his expression when that happened, because when I first saw it, I'm like, I was the same as like Misha. I'm like, what is going on? Oh no, he isn't. And the facials were just great. I just.
Oh yeah. I still got to say this again. Cass is picking up Dean's personality, his facial expression, the fighting. Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. I love this Cass. The last 2 episodes with Cass have been amazing. I call him Badass Cass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really digging it. And then we see in this next scene, Badass Cass in action again. They encounter a Cupid. What the hell in the supernatural universe is going on with these effing Cupids that they're so vile?
Wait, was this Cupid naked?
This Cupid was not naked. You know what? In fact,
Panic defilement.
Now, let me ask you, was this the same Cupid? Remember last year, Dean and Sam met a Cupid they needed a Cupid's bow.
That was a couple of seasons ago, because
that was when they were trying to close the gates of hell.
Right, that was season 8. Okay,
yes, again, they pretty much retconned Cupids, just like they retconned Reapers, which is another reason I have issues with a lot of the writers.
Gotcha. But I'm like, I think it's the same actor who was a part of that, but it doesn't matter. But it was.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I was looking at that and I'm like, I think it's the same actor. But going back to they get attacked by the Cupid, and Metatron, Cass is nearly killed by the Cupid, because these Cupids in the supernatural universe are hot messes, and Metatron ends up killing the Cupid. Now, Metatron thinks that Cass now owes him something and tries to bond with Cass. Cass, badassery Cass, rockin' Misha, does not give Metatron the light of day. He refuses to, like, he knows Metatron is untrustworthy, he's not trustworthy whatsoever.
He actually learned from his mistakes for once.
Exactly. And he's not even dealing with Metatron. And they just kind of just go on. And meanwhile, back at the bunker, we have Charlie, Dean, and Sam, and they're trying to decode. It looks like they may have found a cure for the Mark of Cain. And it looks like Sam may have found a cure, but he can't decipher the code. And so he has Charlie to look back at it. And and he can't figure out the code. And they decide to kind of, and Dean actually tells them both, and this is a great line too, embrace your geekdom, both of you, and figure out the code. And meanwhile, Dean is still looking at that book like it's the Precious. And Sam is kind of getting chill. And Dean actually winds up finding, while he's looking for that, he gives some information about the Stein family, which I have a feeling if they work the Stein family right, the Stein family could be a whole different arc altogether. Because this season we don't have technically a new like a big bad. I think the big bad is the Mark of Cain. Yeah, you can say Rowena is. I don't think Rowena is, to be honest, but we don't know what game plan is.
Sam's a big bad.
Whatever's going on is going to happen through season 11 at this point. It's going to hang on to that. I think ultimately, if the series has to end and we're coming down to that between the brothers' storyline ending or a new potential arc starting with potential spin-off, will be with if they play this right, the Stein family, because that can open up an entire new Pandora's box because of all the stuff that they know. And Dean, with the information that he finds out, they are a rich family, very evil family. Family has caused everything from influencing Hitler with the genocide of World War II through the origins of the Book of the Damned, and being in trying to locate that, and pretty much, what did they call them? The evil DuPonts, pretty much. And I wanted to get your take on that, on the Stein family. I wanted to get everyone's take on that, and we'll start with Mandy, because I'm sure Mandy has a lot to say.
I got nothing.
No?
As far as I know, they could be cool, they could not be cool. Who knows? It really depends on the writers as they go on and how they deal with things. I mean, because lately for me, like whenever we have a very interesting storyline, it gets over so quickly. I mean, Dean's a demon. It's gone in 3 episodes, and Dean's storyline as a demon was the C story, not the A or B story. Dean in Purgatory, gone within 10 seconds, where we were dealing with Semilia for like episode after episode after episode, which really was annoying. So I mean, the Steins could be extremely cool, or they could be like Rowena kinds of boring, depending on the person. So again, it just depends on the writing and how things are going. But for me, really, what's going on, who I think really one of the big bads is the fact that, once again, Sam is lying and going behind Dean's back, as usual.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Yeah, we're definitely going to get to Sam with that, because I'm just like, dude, really? Me and Toni had a long conversation about Sam, about that. I was like, I could throw a book at this freaking TV at Sam.
Sam needs to be smacked upside the head a few times.
Oh my goodness, I can't even with Sam. But anyway, one of my favorite parts of this episode, another favorite part, I have 3 of them, and this is actually this is the third major part. And I talked about this a lot with Toni too. We finally see Sam's point of view. on stuff. And he tells Charlie, because Charlie talks about being a hunter now. I will say this about this part of conversation. Charlie, you haven't been a hunter enough to talk about, talk about being in the hunter life. I think
And
she's
the
only
last
been
time,
2 years. And that bothered me a little bit.
and then there was her speech in freaking the episode where she went to Oz, where she's like, "Oh, it's not fun and sparkly," and I'm like, really? This is another reason why a lot of people hate Charlie. It's because of, she's also good at it, but she thinks that hunting is supposed to be some special, sparkly adventure.
Well, she had mentioned that too. That it was, I remember her with that episode that you're referring to. That Dean tried to talk her out of it. I remember that. He was trying to tell her it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah,
So,
it's never going to be sunshine and rainbows. And I don't care how laid back Garth was. Garth still was a hunter, and he ended up a
I miss DJ Qual so bad. I know he's on a show on Amazon, on the Amazon.com network, that I think that got picked up. I would love to see him back, just if they could get him for like an episode. I love getting him. I would love to see him back as Garth. What a great character. I wouldn't mind seeing Ostrich Chow. Oh, there's something he live tweeted, Ostrich, and we'll get to that for the Werther Project, because he live tweeted during that, apparently.
Oh, have you guys seen his little web series where he's totally shipping Destiel?
No, I haven't.
Oh God, I think it's called the Kevin Tran Chronicles or something. It's like, so far I think maybe 3 or 4 episodes, and it's just him. It's Osric being Osric as Kevin.
He has a new ship.
He
has a new ship. Let me tell you, I wasn't looking at him in the live tweet until I was looking at some of his tweets yesterday. Because my internet was down. We weren't able to do Beyond Arrow Wednesday, so I was looking back at some of the stuff because I knew that we had a lot to cover, and kind of this is almost like a primer for Tori. So I kind of wanted to introduce her to like all the lore and stuff. And I'm looking at these lectures, and one of these days, I think one of the new features that we're going to do with Supernatural is talk about, because a lot of the actors live tweet.
Yeah.
If they have a chance to. And Ostrich, who played Kevin Tran, as we all know, if he can, he'll live tweet. And he live tweeted something the other day that I was like, you know what, all the ships. I won't tell you until we get into the Werther Project, which we're almost there. But I was like, this is epic. and I don't ship people except for Olicity. But when he said that, I'm like, oh, Kevin, I never even thought of that. And then somebody tweeted they could, because of the age difference. There is, they realistically only have 3 years between them. And I thought, no, really? I'm like, well, I said, I'll have to think about that. But, okay, enough about that. I had to give Ostrich Chow a shout out, because he does fan fiction on his thing. He does the web series, and I miss him as Kevin Tran. If they can bring Kevin back in any way, shape, or form, and I bet you they will at some point.
They shouldn't have killed him off.
That shocked me that they did that.
They shouldn't have killed him off, and blaming it on Dean again really pissed me off.
But yeah, I miss Kevin. I miss Kevin. I miss seeing Mrs. Tran too. And that's another thing that they could have done too. They can still Now, I will say about Mrs. Tran that I loved about her, Lauren Tom's character, she had an acumen for the life. She gave...
Tiger Mommy was awesome.
Tiger Mommy was gangster. She could totally be a hunter if she wanted to. I can see that happen.
If we're going to have any woman get into the life of of hunting... Mama Tran had a much easier transition and gumption for it than Charlie, in my opinion.
Hey, Mama Tran was the business.
Mama Tran, do not fuck with Mama Tran.
No, I was like, Mama Tran's the business. When she got on there with the whole tattoo, with the, I'm not scared that. Dean and Sam's face was like, whoa. We had somebody here who's like, she doesn't give two shits about anybody. And how she held her own in last season, where she's been held up for a year. Everybody thought she was dead, and she wasn't. But back to, because we're heading to the end of it, and we're getting back to Sam's point of view, and we finally hear it. And it kind of was sad, and Charlie was talking about the life, and again, I had a little bit of issue with it. And I like Charlie, but I had an issue with her discussing that part of it. And we got Sam's point of, and Sam talked about it, and he explained, I guess, what he and Dean were arguing about, and to her, because she was initially like, huh? She didn't get it, and explained why Dean said what he did, and then, and it was really sad. And kudos to Jared, because that was great acting, and and how he was talking about Jess, and how he only wanted to go one time, and then after Jess died, he went for another hunt, and then another, and then another. And he wanted a normal life, and then realized after a while that he was never going to get that. And now, for the first time in his life, he is satisfied with the way things are, and he's happy, and he's content with the way things are.
He said that before, and then in season 8, he totally abandoned everybody. So what?
This was different. This was different, though.
This is different until we get a new set of writers who decide to reset everything back to one.
But I liked the episode. I liked him saying that, but he didn't want to live without his brother. That was great. I mean, he said, I can't live without my brother. I don't want to live without my brother. Coming
from the guy that used to mock the shit out of Dean for saying the same thing.
But though, because I think now he realizes what he's done. I think maybe he realizes it now. Toni, what did you think of that?
Okay. I was taking notes here, but I know you were talking about that, Sam had his final say, but what was beyond that I missed?
What I was talking about was Sam talking about, he talked about Jess and how content, he was talking about to Charlie why, he was explaining to her why he and Dean were fighting. And basically, he told her about Jess, and he told her that how he was going to go for, he was only going to stop after one hunt because he wanted to get back to his life. And then one hunt became a second, and another, and another. And then no matter how many times he's tried to have a normal life, he can't. And he's kind of satisfied to the point where he realizes that he can't, and he's happy and content with the life that he has. And he says, but he doesn't want to do that without Dean. He doesn't want to do that without his brother. And that was sad. And you know what? It did bring it back to season 7 toward the end, because he didn't want to do that without, that there goes that promise. And no matter what, though, he doesn't want it. Ultimately, he stopped because he didn't want to do that without his brother.
Exactly. And, okay, two points I want to make on what you said, like what Sam was saying, he's content and he wants to help save his brother.
Mm-hmm.
That is a human feeling that he's expressing, and we all do that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm sorry to say this, he's contradicting himself, because how he didn't want Dean to save him.
I know.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting? And it's like, but you know what? We humans do that too. We don't know what we want. unless an urgency situation happens, then your mind starts to change, you know.
And I think as the brothers, it takes a turn, and I think that where, like, and you make a good point, where what he wants now may not be what he wants later, you know. So it's gonna go back and forth, and no matter what, these guys love one another. They, you know, they will save each other no matter what.
Exactly. Because
I think that's why there is this constant conflict, and we're gonna see them go back and forth. Dean is much more in your face and much more forward with it, and where Sam internalizes it more.
Yes, he does.
So we see a lot more, and that's what I love about Dean, because Dean is able to express that. Dean will be the first one when season 8 happened. You did not look for me, Sam, no matter what. Sam was like, no, but Sam never told him why. And
just because it was like, and
no, but it wasn't just because though. And
no, that's what Sam was saying.
It was just because, but it wasn't just because. Because Sam, we don't hear Sam's point of view because Sam internalizes everything. To me, the reason why Sam didn't, and it would be awesome to have Jared talk about this, because maybe, I'm sure Jared did backstory on that.
I think Jared has said that was out of character of Sam.
I think Sam was way over as a character. It showed that he was very traumatized by what happened. Right. Yeah, he didn't know what to do.
He didn't know what to do. For the first time, he had no body. He had no one. Yeah.
So what does he do? Abandon Dean, abandon Kevin, and hook up with an emotionally abusive bitch. Good job, Sam.
I think that Jared needs to detail that, because we all seen he was traumatized, but I think we're still not 100% clear. We're
not 100% clear, and I guess
why he didn't have.
And part of the problem is that we've had Carver say, oh, he did it because he was being mature. Jared has actually said, yeah, that was out of character. Pretty much the writers have given no reason for Sam to do this, where some people claim that Sam had an emotional breakdown, except that
we
don't see it. Again, it's another thing of... The thing is, we don't see it.
But we never see it. But this is what one of the problems is that we
don't see it. We get a lot of tell not show on this show.
And that's one of the main problems. And this is a line of contention with me. We don't see Sam is he's much more reserved in the way that he deals with things, to the point where he is deceptive and he gets manipulated because he doesn't show it. And when he does show it, it comes out as lying, bratty, and you want to slap the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And
there's just a lot of stuff, and it's the writers that love to not show these things, but tell people these things, and we see differently on the screen.
Right. Right.
And
I would love to know. I know Jared wasn't a huge fan of the Amelia stuff, but yet he understood it. But I would have loved to know if he did backstory on it. That's one of the things I would sit down and talk with him about. Did you ever do backstory about why you were gone? Minus the Amelia stuff, but why were you traumatized after, Dean went into purgatory with Cass? And then he didn't, and Bobby being gone, and then he had a breakdown prior to that. So a lot of things, when you think about it, a lot of crap happened to Sam in a very short time with that. And then losing Bobby, losing your brother.
The thing is, everybody keeps saying that Sam thought Dean was dead, except Sam knew Dean wasn't dead.
Did he know? Because I went back and looked at that. The last one a few weeks ago, the last thing that I remember, Crowley didn't say anything. Crowley he didn't. He just
said, where are they? Where are they?
Alone.
The thing is, he's like, where are they? Where are they? And Crowley didn't deny that. Crowley didn't say dead. I mean, you would think that if Crowley knew they were dead, he's like, yeah, they're dead. You're dead.
Because he's Crowley. He's never going to give them the satisfaction And this is,
Actually, Crowley would be one of the guys that would say, just to twist the knife harder, they're dead. Crowley likes to use the truth. Crowley likes to use the truth to twist the knife.
I would have said that 3 years ago, not now. I don't know if he would have, if he could have viewed
that. Was 3 years ago. That was 3 years ago.
Well, I mean, that was 3 years ago, but I mean, earlier on, he wouldn't have, nah. I don't think that he would have, though.
Crowley he admits it, he's a salesman. And
yeah,
salesmen,
he is a salesman. If you look at how he runs hell,
a deal or a sale or make something believable that's not.
Right.
It still doesn't excuse the fact that Sam was there when Crowley takes Kevin away from him, so Sam knows that Crowley has Kevin and does nothing about it. Doesn't even call any other hunters.
Oh, I agree with you on that. I think he was. I don't know what Sam was thinking.
I was surprised about that. He didn't get other hunters involved.
It was just really bad.
I agree with you on Kevin.
For that was I just didn't. I just stopped. I just got out. I was done. I found love. He never gave anything that it was. His excuse was I just didn't. And that was pretty much, Carver's line was Sam's mature now. He's not doing this anymore. And it's just like, it makes no sense, Carver. It's such bullshit that you're pulling this line, and it's so out of character for Sam. And even Jared has said that was out of character of him.
But I did like that scene. Going back to that scene, though, I did with the brothers and everything. I did ultimately. And that's one of the reasons I thought that was a good scene. I thought Jared did a good job of that. Do I think that he told that to the wrong person? Yes and no. I don't know if I would have told that to Charlie. However, sometimes telling somebody that you're not as close to, because it's easier for you, and how Sam is as he internalizes stuff, I get why he did it, even though he should have not have. She obviously was probably not the one to tell that to him.
More Charlie Sue. I don't know. It's just.
You think
Toni,
she might have
that too.
On him with that information? No,
I said we talked about that. We didn't think that. Well, I know you didn't think that Sam talking to Charlie she was the right person. Yes and no. I think that sometimes because of how Sam is, it's probably easier for him to talk to somebody who he's not as close to. He's close to Charlie, but he's not as close to, like, Charlie's closer to Dean than she is to Sam.
It doesn't matter. He's saying stuff that he really needs to say to his brother, and he's telling.
Right, but you know what? Sometimes
Charlie.
It's easier. Now, how many people do we know? Sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger or somebody that you're not as close to than it is to talk to your brother. I totally am in agreement with you. I think he should have been telling this to Dean, but he told Charlie, though.
Yeah, it's just the problem is the way that the things have been written and stuff. It's like, oh, Charlie's the one that they all tell stuff to, because Dean told Charlie his life story and dumped on Charlie his stuff back in the Dungeons and Dragons, and Charlie got on his ass for it's just Charlie is not a therapist, and I'm tired of them doing this, and it's just the hunters really need a therapist. They really need a hunter-centric therapist. We need like an angel of therapy that the guys can go to, and Charlie is not it.
I don't have a problem with her knowing, but I guess my only thing is he should have been telling that to Dean. But I get why they did it with Charlie. If he was going to tell anybody, I mean, he should have been telling Dean. Obviously, he should have been telling Dean. I agree with you. He should have been telling Dean.
The thing is, if it wasn't going to be Dean, it should have been Cass. If it wasn't Dean, he should have at least said something to Cass.
Trust me, I agree with you on that. We're going to get to that in a minute, because
he's telling it to Charlie because he's not
even honest with Cass right now.
Because Thompson is writing the episode and has to talk to.
Right, but they have, you have to remember too, the writers have executive producers they got to answer to.
Yeah,
So,
they got to answer to, but the thing is we've seen
and
pretty
how
much
they
all the Charlie
cast this.
episodes are not Adams, are Thompson's episodes. I mean, you can look at it, and it just you can just see the author sparkly author track whenever he writes Charlie. I mean, I just every time she shows up, I feel the characters are not Sam and Dean. They are a literally the whole world bends to Charlie's will because Robbie wants Charlie to be so super special, and that they tell her everything, and it's just like, guys, no, it's just, I mean, I can be geeky as Charlie. I can pretty much, heck, I do a lot of stuff that she does. They still wouldn't tell me half the shit they would to her because I'm not in the life as they were. I don't know everything, and it just doesn't work for me. It takes me out of the story so badly because it's such an Arthur track to me.
Gotcha. No, I didn't get that. I get that. But he ends up telling Charlie all this, and we see Dean, because Dean wasn't in there at the time. He's at a convenience store where he runs into the Stein family, and they hold him hostage, and because they see the mark, and they know that they're trailing the Book of the Damned, and pretty much he gets away from them, and Dean is literally, when he gets back to the cabin, he is insistent on Sam, burn the book. It's evil. It's wrong. Burn the book. They're on their way. They know that it's here. They've seen the mark. It's dark magic. You need to burn it. And then also, prior to that, I forgot all about this. Oh my goodness. How could I forget this? Cass and Metatron, they go into the library. And this is my question. They go into the library. Metatron does a spell and actually poses a good, valid question to Cass, because they're going over the meaning of why they're even there and what their missions are. And what Metatron says, and I told this to Toni, he brought up, say what you will about Metatron, he brought up a valid point. What is actually Cass's mission there? Cass could not answer the question before Metatron did that spell.
I have no idea. No idea. So
Hello, Tory. But he brought up a valid point, and I'm like, is it ultimately to protect the brothers, to guard the brothers? Is it to is it to guard, what is his mission?
Why does he need a mission? Why does he need a mission?
Well, you know what? It's Metatron, and it's valid. I'm not saying that it's right, or you have a good point too. Maybe he doesn't need a mission. It's just to do good. But I wanted to know what your thoughts are, because Toni and I talked about that. I'm like, that was valid, as crazy as Metatron is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's valid, but the thing is one of the things that we were seeing in season 6 and everything was that really, Cass's mission kind of died at season 5, because his whole thing was protect the righteous man and da-da-da-da-da. And he really never had, and after that, he really was doing his own thing.
Right.
So really, at this point, does Cass really need a mission, or does he just have to follow his heart? The problem I see with Cass is that he's lying to Dean again.
Oh, don't get me started on that either. They're all lying to Dean. And I think Dean has an idea that something's going on. That they're all not being truthful, or something's going on. But to get back to that, the Steins follow Dean into the bunker, not the bunker, but the cabin. Dean is still telling Sam to burn that effing book. We know, watching this, Sam has not burned that book. And we see Charlie and Dean as they come in, the Stein brothers come in, kicking ass. I'm like, there goes Charlie again. And these are like major moves. I'm like, Charlie, did Dorothy teach you this? She's fighting alongside Dean. And meanwhile, we see Sam grab the book. You think he's throwing it out. We know that he's not throwing it out. And basically, one of the Stein brothers, Jeff Branson's character, I don't know, was his name Jacob Stein? Was that his name?
Hang on, let me find out.
He literally catches Sam burning what he thought was the book, and literally tells him, like, and now I understand that, because at first I was like, he didn't burn the book. But he was telling him, no matter what, we are going to find you. Leading to believe he didn't burn the book before Sam stabbed him and kills him. So that's the end of that. And they killed the other
Stein.
one.
Jacob Stein.
It was Jacob Stein. That's what I thought. So we go, and then the guys are back in the bunker. And meanwhile, Cass has his grace back. Everybody, there was a spell that was done. I'm just kind of going on track here because we can talk supernatural for hours.
Yeah, he got his grace back, but his wings are pretty much.
His wings.
That's what I wanted to say. His wings weren't. They were falling apart. What is that? I feel so bad.
That's from the spell.
From the fall?
That's from the spell that Metatron did that kicked everybody out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Isn't that from the fall, from all of them?
Yeah. So just so you know, I don't think pretty much they have Jacob Stein only on for one episode. I don't think he's coming back.
I bet if the fans loved his character, I bet you anything. And Jim Michaels was tweeting, so I wonder if we'll see him back again season 11.
He's not back season 10. He might be back season 11.
I bet money we see him back.
He's got.
They're going to try to get him on Creations tours.
Right now, I'm looking at his filmography. Right, the two top things is Supernatural, where he was Jacob, and then something called Visions.
Yeah, he just, I saw on his Twitter account he's doing some other stuff, but he has won Emmys for being on soaps. I've watched him a lot over the years when I used to watch soaps, like AMC, Young the Restless. Jeff Branson is a phenomenal actor. He can play good, he can play bad. I was so excited to see Jeff Branson because I haven't seen him in years. And I was like, oh my God, if anybody could pull this off, I'm like, welcome to the family, Jeff Branson.
Mm-hmm. He did a phenomenal job.
And he went toe-to-toe with them, and there's not a lot of actors that can do that. We've seen Ruthie Connell do it. We've seen Travis Wade do it this year. Jeff brought it. He's definitely a member of that family, new member of the family if they want him. So I was psyched to see Jeff Branson because I'm a Jeff Branson fan. But we get to the bunker and we see Cass and Charlie finally meet, and it was the most adorable thing ever.
It was.
It was so cute, and she was like my new bestie, and it was kind of geeky on both of their sides. And I thought you would be bigger. And can you cure me? He cures her gunshot. He goes, I cure your gunshot wound in your carpal tunnel. She's like, are we besties? That was so cute. And the way he said that was like, he was so deadpan. He's like, I cure your gunshot in your carpal tunnel. And she's like, oh, we're besties now. He's like, okay.
And there was no glow, though, when he healed her. I was wondering where that light glow was, unless
I noticed that. Did you notice that, too?
Unless that was part of the Metatron.
That could have been budget, too, yeah.
Yeah. And when she hugged him, like, normally, he'll hug the boys.
Yeah, he hugs the boys.
He was just like, okay.
He was like,
I mean, it was cute. I loved it, but I loved
it too, and I loved, whose reaction I liked Sam's. It was like, when he was looking back, he was like, oh, finally, this has happened. And there was a little kind of grin. I was like, this is so cute.
It was.
It was really cute. I geeked out over that. I'm like, finally. And then we see Dean coming in with pizza and being jovial because he's happy that Cass got his grace back. But Metatron stole a demon tablet. So, he stole a demon tablet. And,
Or he's having internet issues.
yeah, that's okay. I saw that. She's had, so yeah, Tori's having internet issues, so we apologize for that. But basically, he's coming with pizza, and he's like, okay, well, we lost one battle, with Metatron. We'll get the demon tablet back, but you got your grace back, one battle at a time. And I love the song at the end, and they're all laughing. I call it the Last Supper. That's what I call that scene.
Oh, yeah, because it is towards the end of the season. Hello.
Yeah. It's the Last Supper, and they're all laughing, especially Dean. And kudos to Jensen. Kudos to Jensen for this entire season. He was like really laughing and joking, and Charlie and Cass, that was just too cute. And they were laughing and joking around, and she's showing him how to use the little paper thing, fortune teller thingy.
Oh yeah.
And meanwhile, Sam is very reserved and he's very quiet. He's giving sly smiles, and you hear the voiceover. He's like, "I don't trust it," and I kind of got the impression. And we see Sam's, again, point of view come across where he didn't trust it. We know now he didn't burn it. We saw what he did with it. He put it in a box. He wrapped it, and he brought it with him to the bunker. And then we see him prevent it. He's like, I don't trust my brother. I don't trust it. And
when Sam doesn't trust Dean, what else is new?
But he doesn't trust him with the mark.
He's not trusted Dean with so many things, and it's like, I'm just tired of this going behind Dean's back thing that Sam always seems to do.
And also what he did, too, is he lied to Cass, because Cass asked him if he burned the book, and he said, yeah, I burned the book. He lied to Cass.
Oh. And you know what?
Cass as an angel should have known that he was lying.
I think Cass did. I saw the look on Cass's face.
He knows he's lying.
He was lying.
Yeah, he knows he's lying.
He knows. He's an angel. Come on.
I know, exactly. I'm like, he knows he's lying. I'm like, dude, you just lied to Charlie. You lied to your brother, and now you're trying to lie to Cass, who knows everything. Like, Sam. And then we see him with Rowena, and Rowena's like, what are your terms? That brings us automatically to the Werther Project. We've already been like an hour and a half. We'll go longer. This is so much fun. And then we'll go with the Werther Project. And literally, beginning of the Werther Project, we see it goes back, flashback to the 70s. And
trigger warning. Trigger warning.
And go to the 70s, and we see this girl who's doing laundry or housework or something, and she goes down to the basement, and now I did not understand why they F this. Now, what propelled her to knock down this wall? Does anybody know why she did that?
Because script.
Right, but it was the box calling to her? You know what I mean?
I think the box was calling to her.
Okay.
I believe that.
Yeah, because she knocks down the wall. She opens the vault. The box opens, which we now know is the Werther box. And all of a sudden, we see this mysterious smoke comes out, and she goes unconscious. Well, and then the smoke goes upstairs, and she wakes up, and We see all these people killing themselves, and she literally sees her mother cut her own throat. That begins, and then we go automatically to Sam and Rowena. And they're discussing terms. For her to help Sam, Sam has told her he will kill Crowley if Rowena helps out in deciphering the book's codex. And my thoughts on this whole little discussion here is that, you know, the book is leverage for Rowena. I mean, she's not even giving two craps about her son. She wants her son dead. And is it to rule hell? Does she want to rule hell? Does she want to rule the Grand Coven? But,
She's a woman. She wants it all.
Hmm? Yeah.
She's a woman. She wants it all.
She wants it all. She wants it all. And she wants it now.
But, yeah, I wasn't sure if she wants to run hell, if she wants to run the Grand Coven, or if it was both.
I still think she knows that Crowley is not really Crowley, and we talked about that.
Yes! Well, we're going to bring that up because we did have that discussion. And I totally forgot about that, in all honesty.
Crowley's really an angel in disguise.
No, but there are two Crowleys, though.
There are?
No, well, Toni will bring that up in a second. There were two Crowleys.
Oh, when was that? That happened. It happened after Crowley. This was a long time ago. This was when Crowley gave the boys the cult back, when they finally figured out that Crowley had the cult, and Bella didn't really give the cult to Lilith. She gave it to Crowley.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
King of the Crossroads.
Yep. She's right. There were two Crowleys at the time.
I'm still not sure how you...
Which one are we seeing now?
Wait, I'm still not getting there. I'm still totally lost on there being two Crowleys.
Season 3.
Yeah, it's season 3.
Season 3. Crowley didn't show up until season 5.
Well, no, but the cult was season 5, right?
The cult showed up in season 3. No, actually, the cult showed up in season 1. Hi, Bello.
But there was, I know what Tony's getting that from, though.
I'm trying to remember, because, I mean, Crowley was always Mark Shepard's character, so how are there two of them? I know that there were other Crossroad demons, but they weren't Crowley. And we didn't hear about Crowley, the king of the Crossroads, the boss of all the Crossroad demons, until season 5.
I think Bello knows. We just can't understand what he's saying. Sorry, that was my dog.
I know I was going to say Bella made an appearance. Hi, Bella.
Bello. No, Bello. Bella is the cat. Bello's the dog.
Bello, come here.
Bello, come say hi, Bello. Bello. I know you can hear me. Come on, Bello.
Now Bello doesn't want to make an appearance. Okay, Bello, be that way.
Oh, if you brought food up, he would.
I know. I was going to say, Toni, go get food. But
it's season 3. It's an episode or 2 or 3 after he gives the boys back the cult.
Crowley doesn't show up until season 5.
Lucifer gone. He wanted Lucifer gone, and then I remember it was in the very beginning of an episode. They showed Crowley being chained up in a chair, and the person that was, torturing him was a clone of him, another Crowley.
Yeah. I have to look. Literally, tonight I'm going to go. I keep saying I'm going to go look at it on Netflix.
But Crowley didn't show up until season 5.
Yeah, this was in, where it was a Mark Shepard episode, so it was like a 5.
Yeah, Mark Shepard didn't show up until season 5.
No, but it was. She's right. It was definitely. I remember that.
Maybe I'm wrong on the seasons, but I know he. I'm getting confused. Hold on. It was in the beginning of one of the episodes. Forgive me.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. I haven't seen that in years, though. I'll have to go back. And so we also get, going back to the Werther Project, we see Rowena talking about, Rowena says that she can decode the text in the book, because Sam asked her if she could, but she needs the codex. And pretty much, she said the codex comes from like a member of the coven. Well, you're a member of the coven, but so will we see others in the coven, or eventually? We saw the one, but we know that there's others. But then so she tells Sam to go back and look for other things to help them generate the codex. So he goes back to, we think he's going back to the bunker, but then we go back and we see Dean killing like 6 vampires by himself. Now, which was great. Mm-hmm. Is this the mark though with Dean, with the vamps killing him by himself, or is this just Dean?
Well, it depends on the vampires. I mean, Dean's gone against vampires for a while. I mean, hell, Sam beheaded Gordon as a vampire just with razor wire.
Yeah.
And it could be the mark, or it could just be Dean. I mean, heck, Dean's, remember Dean fighting all the demons in First Son, or Firstborn?
Yeah.
So I mean, it could go either way.
Yeah, that's true. So Sam, obviously, we see Sam come on to that, and he's really concerned, and he's really pissed off that he's killing these by himself, and he thinks that it's the mark. Dean gets kind of mad, and they, as usual, have, like they've been doing for the last few episodes, kind of bicker back and forth. We see later on Sam is back in the bunker because Dean goes back and says all he wants to do now is take a shower and watch Speed 2. So while Dean is sleeping, Sam is back in the bunker, and he's looking for, he's doing some research on the codex, and he discovers an old tape from 1955 from the Men of Letters meeting, and pretty much it talks about, and we look back at it, and it's about the Werther box, and how it's and now that for the most part it's buried, and that contains the codex in the box in a book, and pretty much they were trying to figure out what to do with it. Should they destroy it, or should they bury it? And we see the guy from season 9, who was the Men of Letters, who just pretty much disappeared, but he was trying to use Dean as some sort of a display model because he had the Mark of Cain in first plate, and Dean killed him. He is responsible for creating that Werther box. So ultimately, all the Men of Letters decided to bury the box. And being that they had all these safe houses all over the place, Sam discovers that where the Werther box is located in a house where Susie, the main character who we saw earlier in the 70s, her family has all committed suicide, and it's buried there. Why they did not destroy the box, I have no idea. But what did everybody think of that Men of Letters scene? I always love introducing new lore when they introduce new lore with that, and going back to the Men of Letters.
My favorite.
Yeah, I love the Men of Letters. I want to know more about the Men of Letters. Anytime that
get something. Let's hope they actually use it for once.
Yeah. I mean, I really dig what they were doing with that. So, like, that whole thing was interesting. I'm like, I don't know why they didn't, because they know that in order for them to close it, I think they needed all of their blood, and they were all against that. So they ultimately decided to bury the box. But so now it's in one of their safe houses. So Sam calls Rowena when he discovers where the box is located, and that was a great scene. This is a great scene. And Sam calls Rowena and explains that what's going on, and Rowena offers to help Sam get it back. And he knows what she's up to, and he's just like, no. He don't trust her. Hallelujah. For whatever, Sam, you're just wrong right now, and at least you're not letting her get to you like you have had other people influence you in the past. Make sure that Rowena doesn't either. But pretty much, he then goes to the house on his own, Sam does, and he tries to break in. But Susie, who is now a middle-aged woman, who still lives in the house where her family was all committed suicide, she goes in on Sam. And so he's kind of a little bit defeated when he gets back in the car. But all of a sudden, who shows up? Dean! Which I thought was great. Now, what did you guys think of that? What were your thoughts on seeing Dean just automatically show up? And how did he figure out, well, Dean is a hunter. What did you guys think of how he just suddenly just popped up like that? He had to, and that makes me think Dean knows Sam is up to something.
I think that's the part that I didn't get to see.
Okay. Mandy, what were your thoughts on that?
Dean is awesome. Dean is Batman. Dean needs to be Batman I don't know. It's Dean. Dean showing up because Sam's going behind his back is pretty much what Dean does.
Yeah. But he kind of figured, did you think that he kind of knows that something's going on with Sam, that he knows that something's up with him?
Yeah, I think he knows. And he's trying to give Sam the benefit of the doubt. But,
Right. So he's trying to find out, Dean is trying to find out, well, why are you lying? Not lying, but why are you by yourself? This is a cold case. This isn't technically really our thing. But then Sam twists it a little bit and explains about the men of letters and the codec, but doesn't tell him what it's actually for. So Dean wants to help him out and to get in the house. So, of course, Dean's like, hell, I'm in. So Dean goes into the house, and he manages to talk to Susie and get into the house. Meanwhile, Sam breaks in, gets into the basement while Dean is carrying on a conversation with Susie. And Sam is able to open, in a nutshell, he's able to open up the box. And what happens is we see the the smoke come out again. But it affects, now, I think it affected Sam, but we just didn't see it because it came from the basement. It obviously affected Susie, and it affected Dean. And we saw, unfortunately, Susie knew, and she was begging Dean. She was like, why did you do this? This killed my entire family. It killed my aunt. And all of a sudden we see dead people. And she was blaming Sam. She knew why Sam was there. And she knew that he was there to get it, and she was trying to protect him from opening it up, because she knew ultimately the evil that it could do, because she was been there before. So Susie sees her dead family, starting with her father. We see her dead brother who committed suicide, and we then see her mother. And when she sees her mother, she kind of runs off, and Dean's kind of perplexed, and Sam's like, what's going, he's kind of perplexed, and she runs into the room, and she ends up shooting herself. Meanwhile, Dean, all of a sudden, spells caught onto him, Dean is caught. Dean is the spell takes him to purgatory, where we see what the spell does is it literally tells people from the depths of whatever sadness that they have, the easiest way out is to kill yourself. So Dean is in purgatory and we see Benny. Yay, Benny, Ty Olsson. But this is not the Benny that we know. This is a Benny that is telling him, kind of understands how sad and what he's going through, and there is a way out. And Benny, as we know, would never, ever tell Dean to kill himself. He would tell him the way out, but he would also tell him, there's the portal. Let's find the portal to get you out of here. Not, there's one way, there's another way, and that's to kill yourself. And that's through the whole journey. And Dean did know throughout this entire thing that it was in his head. We then see, meanwhile, Rowena. Ruthie Connell was great in this episode. I really liked Ruthie Connell. She was great. I think it was I think Sam was also seeing things. I think that's when we saw Rowena. I think, and I wanted your takes on this too. Because I think it was Rowena. I think it was I think that Rowena was a figment. Was part of the spell for Sam, and pretty much Rowena shows up, and she was literally doing, she's like, haha, Dean can't see me. She's doing this like little dance, and in front of Sam, and she's telling Sam the only way that you can, pretty much cure this and open it up is because they are the last people that I think that were near the box were in 1958, and those people were killed by Abaddon. So they would be, Sam and Dean, since they're legacies, they would be the next ones to be able to open it, and they would have to use their blood for it. If I understand that right. If I understand that whole lore correctly. So Sam was like, okay, you can use my blood. You can use whatever, as long as he's thinking, oh, it's ultimately going to help my brother. Let's just go into it. And so he's going through this whole thing. And meanwhile, Dean's fighting. And they're going back and forth. And he's literally... Now, what were your thoughts on that? On that scene?
Rowena could have used astral projection. I was confused about why Sam wasn't affected, but now I understand why. You reminded me, because he used his own blood in the spell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have to watch it again, because I don't know. At first, to me, that whole thing is just bizarre.
Well, I'm wondering if it was the Werther spell. I wonder if it was part of it was the Werther itself.
It was the Werther spell.
It's the Werther spell. It was all the.
It was the Werther spell, because I'm sorry, there's just no way that Dean wouldn't see Rowena if she was actually there.
Yeah. I'm thinking it was. I got the impression that it was the Werther spell.
Mm-hmm.
After watching it again, it took me a couple of times to kind of get it, because I'm like, I think this is the Werther spell, because there would be no way that Dean wouldn't try, if he's seen Rowena, he wouldn't try to off her. Especially what happened with those two previously.
Oh yeah, that was epic.
Yeah, that was epic. Next time he sees Rowena, he's killing Rowena. Plain and simple. He ain't letting her live. Meanwhile, and Dean was so, as we see him, because they're going back and forth, he's literally so spellbound, thinking that he was, even though he's trying to get his mind back to where it was, and kudos to him for trying to, kudos to Jensen, because that was great. They had to literally tie Dean up to prevent him from, killing himself. while he's going through this whole thing, and Sam's begging them to like stop, begging them to break the spell, and she's telling Sam to break. You can break the spell. Use your blood, break the spell. But Dean breaks it pretty much when Benny is literally telling him, "You can kill yourself," and he says, "Well, I can't kill myself. If I wanted to, I have the mark. I couldn't do it if he wanted to." And the only way I could see Dean offing himself, if it were gonna benefit mankind, or if it was gonna save Sam, that would be the only way that Dean would kill himself. He wouldn't do it for any other person, or any other thing. And so with that, he kills Benny, pseudo Benny, in purgatory, and he breaks the spell. And meanwhile, we see Sam at the Werther box trying to save Dean by literally killing himself. He's literally dying, bleeding all over the place. And the box is starting to open to get the book out. However, Dean realizes what's going on, and he's awake and he's up, and he's like, "No, don't do this." And he uses his blood. With both of their blood, they are able to open up the box really easy, and he takes the book out. So we get they're back in the no, they're not back in the no, they're not back in the bunker. They're after that, which was good. It was good to kind of see them work together a little bit, despite Sam lying. And Dean kind of is a little bit too. He doesn't want to. He's hiding what he's really feeling to an extent. But pretty much. At the end of this episode, which I loved, we see Rowena. She's like, "Oh, you got the book," and he's like, and she's like, "Yeah, we can decipher the book now. You can decipher it." And she's like, "Oh, great." He locks up Rowena, which was great. And she's like, "What?" And she calls him a giant. And what did you guys think of that?
He finally did something smart-ish.
I only saw some of that. That's some of the parts that I had missed that I mentioned to you earlier today.
Him locking her up was probably the smartest thing he's done.
Yeah, he locks her up. She's locked up, and she's got to decipher that spell. He's got her locked up like they had Crowley locked up. She's their bitch now.
I did see that part where she was chained up. I thought that was epic.
I thought it was just she's like, "You giant!"
I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm missing something good."
It's like, yes, and that was the end of the episode pretty much. And then we have next week's, and I'm gonna share. Let me see if I can share it. Hang on 1 second. Oh, her Wi-Fi is all messed up. Tori had to go, everybody, because her Wi-Fi was a mess.
Yeah.
But so I just wanted to tell everybody. But let me go back. And
while you're going back, I wanted to correct myself. It is season 5 when I was talking about the 2 Crowleys.
Yep.
I have the DVD somewhere. I'll try to find which episode it was.
Yeah.
Please do.
And here is the trailer for next week's episode, which is Angel Heart.
This Wednesday, Heavenly Assassin will beat the boys and doom Earth to the ultimate monster. A teenage girl.
You seem pretty old.
Supernatural, all new this Wednesday at 9/8 Central on the CW.
Okay. And that was next week's episode, which is entitled Angel Heart.
Claire's back.
So, basically, it looks like we have Catherine Newton returning as Claire Novak.
Yep.
She's returning, and apparently, from what it looks like, and from what I gather from the episode, is that there's also an angel assassin, and
Another
Cass
heavenly assassin. Yay!
And Cass is trying to locate Claire's mother. So
Another Amelia.
Yeah, her mother Amelia. So we're gonna hope, and we're gonna see Claire back and Amelia back, and it looks like well, is it actually Amelia that we're gonna see back technically? It is.
She's been possessed by demons before.
Yeah, that's what I said. Are we really seeing Amelia, or are we seeing a possessed Amelia? And we're gonna see, and it looks like what happened with Claire. Claire went from being kind of not so nice to being like even a more badass with
I was just going
now
to
an
say that,
angel
like,
assassin.
kicking butt in this new episode. I can't wait to see it.
Oh, I can't wait to see it either. Like now, I mean, you kind of, Claire. But yeah, this will be interesting. Angel assassin, and looked like she was kicking ass too. I mean, I can't put that past her either, because she's been around the block a few times, so for a youngin'. So yeah, she'll be fine. And it looks like she's teaming up with Dean. Oh yeah, I love the part with Dean. With him being older, he's like, shut up. So let's go to we're gonna go with predictions. Because we only have how many more episodes left? We have
Give me a sec.
4?
They just I think it's 23 episodes this season, but let me double check.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I just kind of live on the IMDb, it seems. Don't mind me. Let's see. Angel Heart, Dark Dynasty, 1022 and 1023. So we have 4 episodes left total.
That's not that. That way I have 4 more left. So we have 4 more episodes left. We know that the Stein family is coming back, for one thing. Sam and Dean are going to have some sort of a huge effing confrontation about Sam lying.
If they do that, because usually when Sam does stuff like that, it gets tossed under the rug.
But I don't know if it will this. I don't know.
I hope it doesn't, but I mean, literally looking at the past 10 years, that's what it does. It's like, I mean, I'm sorry. It's like when Dean talked to Bobby about Sam strangling him near death, Bobby's reaction is, boo-hoo, princess, your little blue, what's going on with Sam is worse than what you went through. Sam just tried to kill him, and, he got told to suck it up. It's just my trust in a lot of these writers these days has been so low, and I just don't think that there's going to be this huge confrontation where Sam actually apologizes, because Sam really.
I don't think there's going to be that kind of a confrontation. I think they're going to have there's just going to be a confrontation, and there's going to have to be some sort of an explanation.
I think that Nick's going to be sneezing a lot if Sam ever actually does apologize to Dean and means it without shifting blame at this point, because Sam does that a lot.
What do you think, Toni?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a confrontation between the boys. My feeling is it's going to be deep, and we're going to get a lot of surprises. I mean, hopefully.
I think we are too. I'm thinking, and I also think too, I'm wondering, and no one's truly dead in Supernatural.
Except John Winchester, it seems.
Yeah.
We really need. I want Jeffrey Dean Morgan to show up at least once.
I do too. I bet money he shows up at the series end or close.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Because it's looking more and more, because he's doing a lot of cons. I know he's filming the new season of X-10 right now. But I have a feeling, because lately I know that when he was in Vegas, he was very receptive. If they had something for him, and if he had the time, that he would, this time around, he said he would make the time to come back.
And he also doesn't like what the writers have done with John recently.
No, he's been very vocal about that Jeffrey Dean Morgan has.
Which I totally agree with. I mean, I do think that once Jeffrey left, they tended to turn John into a bit of a monster. And, I mean, there have been arguments and arguments about that on the IMDb about it, where there are people that do see him as being abusive, and I mean, there's, you know, and stuff like that. And the thing is, the writers have tended to turn John into a bit of
I never got that impression from when I was, for me, and I can't speak for Toni or anybody else, but for me, I've never got that impression from Jeffrey Dean Morgan's portrayal.
Yeah, from Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I've never seen that. Yeah.
Or the Lord of the Brothers. To me, you know, the John Winchester and the Winchester family, and / Campbell, we add Mary's family to that too, they had to do what they had to do to protect their kids.
Yeah, when John was on as John, was he harsh? Yes. Was he kind of a dick to Dean a lot of times?
Yes.
Yes. But I mean, literally. Oh, hello, hey, Topher. Once, I mean, literally. What are you? Hi. Do you not want me talking about this? Sorry.
Okay.
Kat wanted to say hi, I guess. You know, once JDM was off the roster, John became, you know, there was just a lot of stuff. I mean, just the way that Jensen portrayed things, this, that, and the other thing. There were hints that maybe John hit him. There was definitely hints that John letting him be rot in jail. Jeffrey Dean Morgan as John would not let that happen.
But you mean the juvie stuff? Back
when he went to what's-his-face's house.
Yes, he would have. And you know what? Say what you will about John Winchester. If one of the kids, he raised them to be ultimately good boys. And if within that, if they were doing something wrong, he would, you know, to make sure that they end up doing the right thing if they needed to be punished for that.
But would he actually say the line, "Let him rot"?
He would not let him rot. I would say go that far, but you know what? That's the character Dean's interpretation of it, though.
You're breaking up.
That would be Dean's interpretation of it, though. But if ultimately, if John, if you know, the way I always, you know, have known John, for me personally, looking at the show. And also, you know, realizing, you know, Bobby was a close friend of John's. You know,
they turned Bobby into more of a father than John was after JDM left.
Right, and I get that though. You know, but to an extent. But to me, I never saw John as, you know, John had to do what he had to do.
The thing is, I think the writers went too far once he was gone.
Yeah, he was raising two boys, and he was living a very unique life. And John, everyone has to remember too, and as a lot of us know who have watched the show for a number of years, John lost his father. He didn't have that figure either.
That was a retcon. Because if you remember in season 4, when Dean went back in time to where he met John the first time, John was told by one of the guys at the diner to say hi to his dad for me.
Yeah, I was kind of confused with that, or are they talking about a stepfather?
The thing is, they just say hi to your dad for me, and then later we learned that Henry disappeared in time, so that's a retcon. Because they never said anything.
But maybe like Toni said, was there a stepfather?
That's the thing. Either way, it's a retcon.
So, you know what? This is a question for Super Wiki. Super Wiki, if you're listening, because I know that you were going to, we should have a conversation. Because maybe there's something within lore that we may have missed.
Well, the thing is, we knew about John's father before Henry showed up was say hi to your dad for me in that one conversation with John being, a himbo. So we really don't know.
Jensen and Jared this at a not that they'll probably remember because they do. God forbid they do so many episodes.
Actually, that would actually be something more for Matt.
Yeah, or somebody. Well, Matt's always at a con, so is he at the?
Matt's always at con. Most of the con. I'd have to double check. I think he might be. I mean, I rarely don't. I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. Thing is, Matt loves to talk about young John stories, so he would know this more than anybody since he is young John.
Right. That's why I said he would be the one to really ask because he does a lot of listening to Matt Cohen's interviews. He did a lot of backstory, so he may have that answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I swear to God, I bet it is on SuperWiki as one of their.
I'm telling you, that's why I said I'm calling her out. I'm calling the girls out.
Well, we don't even have to. We can just go on there and look up, go on to Canon and look up episodes and
Definitely. I'm going to look it up. But I'm giving them a shout out because they were going to listen tonight. So
hi guys,
hello.
Love you.
What's up, chicks? Another prediction of mine. I do think a major character is going to go, but in the supernatural world, are they technically really gone? There are rumblings. I'm wondering if we do see Crowley gone.
Okay, got it. It's sorry.
That's okay.
It's when Dean realizes that the young guy is John. And it's pretty much, young man, yeah, a little while now. Mr. D, good to have you home, John. Damn good. Dean, Dad? Mr. D, well, say hello to your old man for me. You got it, Mr. D. I mean, that's the only thing we ever had about John's father. And before we learned, Henry wasn't there and John was raised without a father. So it's a retcon. It's a retroactive continuity thing they did, which they've been known to do for a while, like with the Reapers and stuff. So it is a retcon.
Okay. Yikes. Okay.
It happens. This is what happens when you don't have a show Bible.
Gotcha.
Technically, they have a show Bible. It's called SuperWiki. They just don't.
I say they have a show Bible, and I look at it often. It's called SuperWiki.
It's called SuperWiki. They just don't utilize it as much as they should.
Those girls, like, that's the most accurate stuff. When I need canon information, I was on there a couple of days ago looking at stuff down for the show. I'm like,
when we get into arguments on IMDb, my friend and I, when we get into arguments on IMDb about what's canon and what's not, she will go right to SuperWiki. She will whip out pages of transcript to show this is what was said.
Totally. That's a great site.
Yeah, SuperWiki is like the best.
The actors use that, too.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's the show. It is the show Bible that they need.
Everybody, I'm just telling our listeners for the first time if they don't wear this. The actors Jensen and Jared have talked about using SuperWiki. So you got to think about it. These guys are doing how many different takes and how many different episodes? Oh yeah, there's no way. There's no way they're gonna know.
They're doing like an episode a week. They have no idea what's going on. If they need to refresher, SuperWiki has it.
Right. And the writers, they only have so much to go on, especially if they have other jobs and if they have, different things that they need to tell within a certain, per season, they're going to forget things too. I forget stuff when I write too. So where are you going to go? That's a great resource.
The thing is, a lot of shows. I mean, I have the show Bible for a lot of the. I actually have the show Bible for every Star Trek series except for Enterprise. And the show Bible for Next Generation is 150 pages of just backstory and who's who and what's what and this, that, and the other thing. And Supernatural doesn't have one, and they need one. And
are you sure that they don't have one though?
It's been said several times that Kripke has said that he does not have a show Bible.
He never did. Didn't he work on this before? The show.
Things have changed.
In his college dorm, I heard.
That's the thing. He's changed it because originally he wanted it to be one guy going around learning stories and being a reporter, and they said that's a little bit too much like the Night Stalker, so he changed it to two brothers. But yeah, there's actually my friend could probably find him for you too.
Yeah.
There's
By the
been
way, happy
interviews where-
birthday, Kripke.
Hey, Crip. Like I said, there have been interviews, and I'm sure we can find them, where he says that there is no show Bible. Well, there is one. It's called Super Wiki, and I really think that they really need to utilize it more. I mean, there's just been a lot of things that they've done recently with retcons and stuff that have upset certain people.
Okay.
You know, and it's like Reapers suddenly being angels came out of left field because for most of the series,
right, from last season.
For most of the series, they were nothing to do with angels. They wanted nothing to be in it, and suddenly they're angels. It's like, no. I mean, when it comes to something like Doctor Who, where you're dealing with a lot of time travel and who knows what's going to be on, continuity on that, yeah, I can understand it being more malleable. They kind of have the whole timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. But when it comes to something like Supernatural, can we please keep the lore together and,
Well, for something like Supernatural, it's important to keep lore together, though.
Yeah, but they haven't been. I mean, there's been a lot of things that have changed. It's like, I mean, the dreaded Bloodlines episode, which most everybody I know hated. The whole thing about these.
Either. I was looking at that. That was on the other day, and I was like, oh my God.
What was it? They were in Detroit, I think, or Chicago.
Chicago.
They were in Chicago with a ton of monster families being in the know and ruling it. I'm like, dude, these guys were in Chicago in season 1 with John Winchester. These guys would have cleaned the place out years ago. There's just no way.
The only part that I really liked about that, that's going into another story. That's going to be a long story, but my favorite part was when that kid, when unfortunately his girlfriend gets killed, he goes into his father's closet, and here his father was a demon hunter and a cop.
Yes.
And I thought that was cool. And now I want to know the history about him.
Me too.
I mean, that was a cool idea, but there was just so much wrong with Bloodlines that we're never going to revisit it again.
The only thing, and this is what I hope, if there is ever a spinoff, and I've mentioned this to Toni, and basically I just think my prediction is between now and the end of the season we're going to have a major character die.
Echo, get out of there. Hang on a sec.
But no, it's okay. I'm thinking it's Crowley. I could be wrong on that, but
that would just really suck. Make Mark Shepard make Mark a regular and then kill him off.
I don't know. It's very possible they can do it. They could kill, and I hate to say because they do this with the women in Supernatural. I don't want it to happen, but I don't know if they're gonna, because Felicia said something the other day that
several of the guys higher up have said that Charlie is never going to die. The thing is, I think
I'm hoping they don't.
I really think the only way that they're going to kill Charlie off is if Thompson leaves as a writer, because she's his character, and they tend not to like giving. A lot of people tend not to want to give money to certain people after they leave, so they might get somebody that's sort of like a cheap version ripoff of her, but Charlie will eventually go away if Thompson leaves. I think that's the only way they will get rid of her. Besides, she's died and come back already.
Yeah, that's true. It's like Gabrielle. Yeah, that's true.
Since we're talking about Robbie, I just have to say, like you said, Michele, like Bloodlines was on TV the other day on TNT.
Yeah.
You saw that episode. No, I just had it on Wiki. I lost the page. The one that the Trickster came back on.
Yes.
I love that whole conversation. I have to bring this up, and I know this is Robbie Thompson's creation as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Trickster is. Like I said, I'm a Robbie Thompson fan. For certain characters, Charlie, the Trickster is another one.
That whole brotherly conversation was just awesome. Richard Speight is just one of the best comics. What keeps playing in my head, my favorite part, I forgot what Castiel said, but Trickster's response was, "Bitch, please." I never thought I would hear something like that. Bitch, please. You remember that?
Richard Spade is epic. I love Richard Spade. If there is a way, I mean, here's another one. Sebastian Roche.
Guys, just so you know, the Trickster is not a Robbie Thompson character. John Sheehan wrote the episode.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I thought he was.
Who directed it, though? Who was the director?
Bradford May.
Oh.
See, when I watch these shows, I have to write them down. My memory is so bad. I need to start writing them down. Take notes.
And hang on, I want to see something. Writer. And actually, Robbie's first written episode was Flash Fiction.
Okay.
So yeah, where Robbie did probably write the episode with the Return of the Trickster and Gabriel.
Right. Maybe that's where I'm getting from, because I know he did write some with Trickster.
Yeah, but he didn't create the character.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a stickler for stuff like that.
That's cool. This is why you're here.
Yes.
And we're not perfect.
When
I'm not sure, I will look stuff up. But yeah, Robbie didn't show up until season 7 as a writer, and he's a producer now.
Right. It's gonna say he's a producer now.
This is season 9 that I'm talking about. Isn't that right, Michelle?
With the Trickster coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, he might have written the episode. He didn't.
I think he wrote that episode though. Here.
What was the name of the episode?
I'm looking
at Metafiction.
Metafiction. He did write it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought so.
Yeah,
he wrote the episode, but he didn't create the character.
That was a great episode.
The way they brought the Trickster back was epic as well. I can't think of any other word.
I really wish Gabriel was back.
Oh, I do too. I'm a huge Ten Mug.
If I had my way and I could write this, and I would totally write and direct it this way, is I would like Gabriel back, and I want actually the real Loki to show up, and the real Loki being played by Alan Tudyk.
That would be cool.
That's just me, though.
Toni and I have talked about this. If there is going to be a spinoff, please, writers, if you're listening to this, if they could ever have a spinoff, why does it only just have to be one actor? Or maybe, and who's to say that it won't be, because we know that they're planning some sort of a spinoff. I've said this. Clearly, I definitely want Cole as one. I'm a huge now fan of Travis, how he plays Cole. Sam likes to hang out in that bunker and read lore, and would be an excellent teacher because he is so smart. So, and Dean could show them how to use combat because he's great at, and he's smart in his own right, but he can show them how to hit, how to really hunt, how to track.
Just remember, Dean made an EMF reader out of a cassette player.
Yeah, he's a genius. He's genius.
People tend to forget that Dean is actually pretty damn smart.
He's very damn smart. No, I'm not taking anything away with Dean. Dean is an F&E genius. He didn't. He was.
Get down.
He is the circumstance. Him not going to college or getting his GED. That was because of circumstances. I think we all pretty much are established, longtime fans of Supernatural, that Dean is a genius.
Yeah, Dean's pretty damn smart. I mean, he might not be book smart, but he definitely has his own damn smarts, and he's
he's definitely smart. But I think that he's much more he can show them combat and tracking and hunting and working with weapons and stuff. And Sam can do that to an extent too, but Sam's much more of the lore type of thing. And I say, literally make this the family, it is, hunting things, the family business, make it the family business.
Stop.
Get hunting,
was also trained by his father.
There is being that there's no more Garth running things or
we need a Bobby character again.
Bobby, why can't Sam be the Bobby? And
Sam be the
they
mommy.
can train. They can train the hunter. They can train the hunters, and that could be that could be Cole. That could be Charlie. That could be that guy from Bloodlines. I will say, out of Bloodlines, and I did not care for the episode. He was the one character whose girlfriend got killed that I did like. And like you said too, Toni, at the end of that, where it was revealed that his father was a demon hunter, I'm like, boom, they were on to something.
Yeah, and he was
Why
a cop,
didn't they bring
so
him into supernatural horror? They could have brought him, and they could still bring him back for the spin-off. And if you're going to do that, you know, they could have that girl from, who's the teenager? Chrissy. They could have Chrissy. And hell, you know what? What's her name? Claire isn't bad either. Claire wants to do this so bad, which is clear she has an aptitude for it. Bring her into it and bring Mrs. Tran in.
Oh, God. Mrs. Tran would just... Yeah, Mrs. Tran should just teach them all. They don't need even the boys. Just have Mrs. Tran do it. She's just so awesome.
Praise Mrs. Tran. Mrs. Tran.
Her
I would
face
love to have Mrs. Tran back.
is powerful enough, like what she did with Crowley, and there was somebody else when Crowley was flirting with her.
You know what else I would like to see? I just want to see once more. Sam with the Hammer of Thor. I can't believe they didn't keep it.
That was that like not the best thing ever?
I love that.
That was on the other day too. That was on a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago.
I mean, seriously, you had
the 5/8 of the virgin. I like when he says to the guy, "Where's the 5/8 of the virgin?" And the guy's like, "Huh?" Anyway,
Crowley trying to sell his own soul.
Oh, that was great. The moon. You think Buzz Aldrin got there? Mark,
I mean, seriously, Sam with the freaking Hammer of Thor was epic.
That was so epic. I was dying. I love when he says to the guy, like I'll repeat it again. He says to the guy, "What's the 5/8?" He goes, "Where's the 5/8 of the virgin? Where did you get that 5/8 of the virgin?" The guy's like,
"Yeah." And it's just like,
he looks at it. He goes, whoosh. It's like,
I want to see Jared. I just want to see Jared hang with Chris Hemsworth now and just see what they do. Like, come on, Thor off. Let's have a Thor off.
Me too. Oh, and me. You know what? And Kuz, I gotta say hi to Lynn at Fangasm because she tweeted something a few weeks ago. When not for the Book of the Damned, but was for Inside Man. When you know that dream when Dean had that bad dream, and we see Sam suddenly get up. And he's like barefoot. Here we go with shallow moments, people. Where Sam gets up and we see the hair flowing. I'm like, somebody made a gift of that. I need to find that and send it to
oh God, if we're going to go with Sam hair, one of my favorites.
I was like, yes. I'm like, somebody needs to do that over.
When Dean got sent back in time with, the gangster era.
Yes, with Sam.
When Sam fell onto his, when he just kind of face planted himself onto his sleeping bag.
Yes.
Oh God, that was adorable. I'm just like, okay, I know. I don't think she's updated this in forever, but there is a live journal that is Puppy Sam Pick Spam.
I'll have to find that. I don't look at live journal that much.
It's like Sam is a puppy, and oh my God, it's just like the cute puppy moments that you can do with Sam. I mean, yeah, Sam is a puppy, and you don't want, when puppy's nostrils flare, that means puppy is angry. Hint: don't make puppy angry. What is your problem?
Otherwise, he'll just hit you with that Thor hammer.
I swear to God, I'm surprised they did not keep the hammer. That was just like the stupidest
I'm surprised that they didn't either. But that was great. I need to find that gift. Somebody made a gift of him like walking. I was like, jeez. Gosh, can you imagine? I'm like, I wouldn't throw Sam out of the bed.
Gift for everything. I wouldn't throw Sam out of the bed. I wouldn't throw Dean out of the bed. I wouldn't throw Cass out of the bed.
I wouldn't throw either.
Hell, I wouldn't even.
Neither one.
I wouldn't even throw Charlie out of the bed.
Charlie.
What? I might not like how she's written, but yeah, I might not like how Charlie's written, but you know what? She as a woman, definitely does it for me.
My favorite Charlie episode is LARP and the Real Girl.
That's one of my favorite episodes, mainly for two reasons. One, I used to LARP, not that kind of LARP, but I used to LARP.
Mhm.
And also, when they go into the gaming tent and you see her as they have her character from Dragon Age 2 on screen, I'm like, yes!
Yes!
I thought that was epic because I actually played that storyline.
She's great. Felicia Day is great. I mean,
Come on.
that was one of my favorite episodes with Felicia Day.
Sorry, I have been usurped.
But I'm trying to think. We'll see the Steins again. I'm wondering though if we're gonna see the Mark of Cain, if that storyline's gonna end. I'm wondering if it's
my biggest fear is that Sam is going to end up with it, and that'll just piss so many people off.
There are some nasty rumors going on. But Jim Michaels did say something, because Toni, you and I were talking about that one in particular where the thing is supposed to go in reverse. What did Jim say? And a bunch of people saw that. Jim Michaels, who is the executive producer of Supernatural, has tweeted and said there have been things, as an FYI to everybody, there have been things planted. So that may be it. That may not be it.
Say that again, Toni.
That may not be the case. They have planted things for people to see.
I don't know. It's just until that episode happens, we're not going to know. But I do know that there will be so many pissed off Dean fans if once more Sam gets Dean's storyline.
I know, but I don't know. I do think Misha, and I meant to quote Misha because we had the quote. Both Misha and Jared have said. Jared said in particular that he cried at the end of season when he read the finale. And what Misha said is that just when everybody thinks that the dust has settled at the end, when it settles, it's even worse than what we thought.
Oy.
So that makes me think I don't know if it's going to be in reverse.
I don't know. I'm just really hoping that we don't end up with another Sam gets Dean storyline again, because that will literally, a lot of people will pretty much drop the show right then and there, I think.
I don't know.
No, I mean, trust me, there's a lot of people on the IMDb that are pretty much ready to drop the show for that.
I just think it's just a thought, my opinion. I just think the ending is just going to open up another can of worms, whatever it is.
Well, I do too. I do too. And even if it does happen with Sam, I think. And again, I get this impression from them introducing the Stein family, and I think Rowena's going to be around next year. And this is a thought too. What if, because Crowley, and I just thought of this, what if Crowley is definitely on to Rowena, knowing that she wants him dead? Or something?
I think he already knows.
Right. Oh, yeah. He obviously knows something. You know, we've seen that throughout the entire season. But so he aligns himself with Dean, where we see Rowena align herself with Sam. And you know who? And I'll tell you something. Ostrich. Go back to what Ostrich said. And he was live tweeting the other night. He was live tweeting the other day, and he just said out of fun. How does anybody ship Rowena and Sam? My mouth
yes, there are people
open.
that do.
And I said, all the ships. I said, and I don't ship people, but I'm like, you know what? If you really think about it, and they keep saying Sam goes dark. How dark would it be if it got that dark where he went to such a deep place where, you know, maybe Rowena casts a spell's in reverse, something goes awry, he aligns himself with Rowena. and they
I
take
don't know. One thing I will say is that if you look at the series, I think all but one season ended on a cliffhanger. I think actually
this is gonna end on a cliffhanger, I think.
every single season pretty much ended on a cliffhanger. The one that could be kind of not cliffhangery is the end of season 5, but of course with Sam under the thing, every season lands on a cliffhanger. So it's like, oh, it's gonna be setting stuff up. I'm like, to which my response at this point is, no shit, Sherlock. Because every season lands on a cliffhanger, which it makes us want to come back for the next season.
Which, that's what shows do, and that's what makes this fun, and that's what makes it cool to kind of do all kinds of speculating, and this is what makes it fun to talk about these different shows, and what everyone's views are different, and stuff, and that's, like I said, that's what makes it fun. Before we leave, we do have one more trivia question, and we are giving away the Jensen and Jared shirts. Earlier tonight, just as an FYI, we are giving away 2 of the Jensen and Jared shirts. So the first question was, Mandy, what was it?
Which Highlander actor showed up in season 1 of Supernatural?
Okay. So make sure that you hashtag that when you answer us. You can go on
that
the...
That might be a little bit too vague.
Yeah.
Want me to give it a more... Want me to make it a little bit more specific?
Okay.
Which main character from the... Let me go back. Strike that, reverse it. Hang on. Which main actor from Highlanders the series showed up on season 1 of Supernatural?
Okay. There you go.
That might narrow it down a bit more.
Okay. So she narrowed it down. So there's the question. My question for everyone, and this is the trivia because we were going to have weekly trivia. My question to everyone was, talk about, how did the Men of Letters get started? Have fun. Yeah, if you want to. I know everybody's going to start running this Super Wiki. Enjoy yourselves.
Have fun.
And we all know that that's from season 8. So you can go on to Beyond Supernatural. You can talk to me at the Indy Geek. You can go on our Facebook page at Beyond Supernatural, and you can answer the questions. So yeah, just let us know. And you can find me on social media. My personal Twitter account is Bed of Roses 2001. It's been great talking. I can talk about Supernatural all night. We were literally supposed to be only 90 minutes. We are now almost 2.5 hours into this. So
no, we got the 2 episodes in.
Yeah, we got both episodes. And we were talking about the speculation on the 3rd one. And actually went back and actually talked about an episode prior. And seasons before.
We went all over the place.
We went all over the place. But you can catch me at my personal Twitter account, which is Bed of Roses 2001. Yes, I'm a Bon Jovi fan. You can catch me also on the Indy Geek's Twitter account, which is the Indy Geek, and you can hashtag me Beyond Supernatural. I'm there all the time. Well, this is also airing on the Indy Geek now. You can also this will probably be too long for a podcast, but really, you guys can see it. We'll have it up, and we're going to have up Beyond Arrow tomorrow in the next day or 2. Next week, we'll be here at 8 p.m. We're going to be here every Friday, even in the summer while the guys are on what we call Hillatus. We're going to be doing then Supernatural Rewind, and we're going to go back and we're going to discuss the earlier episodes. A lot of these questions that we have will be answered. I'm talking about tonight. And Toni, how can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter. That's DrummerGirl71. The D is capital. I'm going to open up a new Facebook account that's in regards to both, with the Indie Geek and stuff. So it'll be all supernatural and Arrow related. So that'll be coming up in a week or so.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Just let us know.
Yeah.
And Mandy.
You can see me at as Skexy Girl on Twitter, and I'm going to do the same thing Toni is about Facebook.
Okay. Awesome. Then you can get Tori at Rush Tori on Twitter. I know that she's having Wi-Fi issues. She had to log off. But you can also find her. She has a group called The Infectious Walking Dead on Facebook. That you guys can catch her there. I don't know what she also has a website for The Infectious Walking Dead. That is on the Indie Geek website. If you guys are looking at this too, we're live streaming this on the Indie Geek website. There are links to The Infectious Walking Dead on the Indie Geek site. And we'll be doing live streams from this all the time going forward on the Indie Geek. So from myself and all of us at Indie Radio, you guys have a great week. We will be back on Wednesday talking about the next episode of Arrow for Beyond Arrow.
The next season of Arrow, huh? You're jumping the gun there, aren't you?
Yeah. We're talking about Beyond Arrow. The next episode of Arrow, I'll be on the Indie Geek podcast Thursday night. And we come right back to talk about Beyond Supernatural. So you all have a great weekend. All have a great night.
Have a great night, everyone.